welcome to episode 219 of Zapped to the Past. I am Adrian Mills. I'm joined as always by Mr. Graham Raddings. If you haven't listened before, this is a podcast where we discuss games that were released for the Commodore 64. Last week, we looked at our first batch of games from issue 88 of Zap 64, which we are, of course, in no way affiliated with, and were baitless in Bigger Game Fishing, kicked repeatedly in Kickboxer Vigilante, and evaded any real sense of logic in Elvira 2. This week, we conclude our look at the games in September 1992, along with what was also lighting up our TV and cinema screens that month. Graham, as September comes to a close, please tell me there's something of worth to play this week.
No sooner had September 1992 started than it's ending again. I guess it's just what happens when the games slowly start to run out in Zap magazine. The reviews in the magazine itself are becoming more incoherent and the scoring, well, it's just wild. Though that's hardly anything new, really. Still, we are where we are. So, in a month where, in a moment of true irony, Barry Manilow's Showstoppers show opened and closed within 3 days at the Paramount Theatre in New York City. Not more platforms and jumping, I hear you cry, but wait, this is a whole new twisty spin on things as we assume our reptilian form and head for the puzzling light switches in the Cool Croc Twins. And we head to the blue world of blue skating for some blue as we shake up an old football game into a whole different sport in the utterly clueless international ice hockey. Wow, 50% of those games were good, and I don't think it will be much of a challenge to figure out which. No sooner do we have the highs than we get the lows. It's the yin and the yang of this podcast. So while we wonder what the dog-egg ratio is for the whole life of the show, we grab some swords, stars and gloves and head into the run-along and thump world of the side-scrolling Fist 'em Up as we bash a whole bunch of people in Bionic Ninja. We get into some old-school sports cars of the 8-bit kind and go for a 1,000-mile race down the Brown Highway. Yuck. In 1000 Miglia, Volume 1, 1927 to 1933. What a catchy name. Before finally getting our over-elaborate equipment together, picking some tunnels and aiming to infiltrate some drug dealer fortress in the bitty 16-bit D-make of Narco Police. If this were a bag of Revels, it would have a lot of coffee-flavoured ones in it, that's for sure. I don't know. At the very least, there is one game we can get behind, and since we're running out of games anyway, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Pity Zap scores don't portray the same logic though, really. Please, sir. Is there anything you've got to play, sir?
Please make it something good, because there was chuff all last week.
Sir? There was nothing. Last week was rubbish, wasn't it? Oh, God, that awful game. I didn't want to think about it.
What, fighting soccer? That's why I didn't mention it in the intro. I knew it'd have that effect on you.
God's sakes. Awful bloody thing. Nightmares about
that. Yeah. How do you know it's past two and everyone's the same colour? How?
Just see-through players on a green pitch. Just no.
It's not a good idea, is it?
No, it wasn't good, was it, last time? Maybe there's some things to this time that will help and move things along a pace, and that's a good thing. We'll see. Yeah, it's Maybe. Not. It's we're coming towards the end. How many magazines have we got left now? Because this is two left after this one. So next week next time you can't call it a magazine, can you? Really? Was it a cozy 10 pages?
we'll mention that at the end, the sort of amount of games we've got for October 1992. But with this one, once we get through this episode, we've got 11 games left.
Wow, God, we used to cover more than 11 games in one episode.
In an episode. Now we've got stretching for 4. But as we, it is the remit of the show. We play what's in front of us. And I think we've earned, it's ups and downs, isn't it? It swings and roundabouts. It's peaks and troughs. We've had our peaks with, like you said, sometimes we had 14 games in an episode. Sometimes coming up, we won't have 14 games. Not even left for 4 episodes. 4. Yeah, so it is what it is. But we'll still be reviewing those games in the depth and detail you've come to appreciate from us.
Yes, we will, because that's what we do. That's what we've always done.
It is.
Well,
yeah.
Yes,
it is. And if you want to get in on that and you want to support us as we come to the end of this part of the podcast, I suppose.
This phase of
the podcast before it morphs into something different. You can still, obviously it's still going on. We have a Patreon. That is patreon.com/Zap to the Past. It keeps us going. It helps keeps the wheels turning.
It does.
It does provide support and everything, mental, moral, and religious.
Yes. And still, the 500, 600 plus hours of content that we've got out there. That's a heavy lump on a server that serves it out there. That's a big lump of serving juice, that is.
It is. And that Patreon, if you want to sign up, well less than the price of a pint of beer. And probably at the moment, as the things are going, probably less than a litre of oil.
Yeah. It's not. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No, I'm not. So, you can join that patreon.com/Zapped to the past. Come and speak to us on social medias. Go to our Ko-fi, ko-5/Zapped to the past. Yep. Buy stuff from the shop, Zapped to the past shop. It's all there. It's all there if you want to get involved in that, and that'd be cool if you do. We've got 5 games though this week, which is, the last big episode, I presume, of at least 5 games. So should we just get into them? Should we just get going?
Let's do it. Let's get on with it.
All right, let's get to the very, very first game for this week. And that game, Graham, well, it's over to you to tell us all about the Cool Croc Twins.
Yes, okay, I'll do that. This was £11.99, so full price, which is, so as we're towards the end of the C64's life, a risky move, isn't it, that? Who's going to spend 12 quid, 12 dinaris? People might be saying in some places. It got 87% in Zap. We'll come to that. So it was published by Arcade Masters, the hitherto unknown Arcade Masters. Copyright is Empire Software. The coder, though, behind this is Ian Denny. Now, Ian Denny should be reasonably familiar. We haven't seen him for a while, but this is the guy that Driller and Volfied and Tomcat, amongst several others, and other drillerish type things, experiences. The graphics here are by Martin Godbeer. You might remember him because he did Deliverance and Zamzara, and I think one of the Stormlords as well.
Oh, they were good graphics, they were.
They were. The musician is David Haynes and Mark Wilson. Sorry, the musicians. That's not just one amalgamated human. And they collectively, I don't think David Haynes had any other credits. I don't know. I can't remember. But I've just written down Round the Bend and Shark. Now, I don't know if that was just the state of mind I was in at the time.
Did you flush something they shouldn't have down the toilet?
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? So, anyway, initial impressions are good, aren't they, of this? A fun, well-animated intro sequence, isn't it, as well? Which, on the version we had, which was the Easy Flash, you could select, but it was pretty cool. Decent, jaunty music, nice title screen. I was impressed, I have to say, right from the get-go. I thought, ooh, this is a bit of all right. So let's dive in and see what it's all about. What on earth am I talking about? Goodness. So from the documents that I could find, the scenario is thus. Vanity is a croc's second most important attribute, after coolness, that is. Everyone wants to be cool, but it's not as easy as it seems. And then it says, guide Punk and Funk, our croc heroes, through 60 levels of mayhem. 10 worlds to explore, each with brilliant full-colour backdrops and unique bad guys. The funkiest, punkiest soundtrack in town, brilliant, simultaneous 2-player mode. And then it says the game, Punk Croc and Funk Croc are twins, as handsome and sophisticated as each other. Daisy, that's Daisy Croquette, is smitten with them both as any Croquette in her right or left mind would be. Unable to decide between the two twins, she has forsaken love and run off to a crockery. Run off to a crockery, leaving Punk and Funk to battle 60 screens to win back her hand. The game is a straightforward platform game for 1 or 2 players, playable on joysticks. Player 1 uses one joystick in port 1, player 2 uses the joystick in port 2. That's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And then it says on the title screen, you may select 1-player, 2-player, joystick, code, or high scores. I'll talk about that in a little while, but then it goes down as we further around, and it sort of has a little bit of a, I don't know what you'd call it, a play, I guess. And it says, as for the actual way you play the game, here are the guys to take you through it. And then it says Punk and Funk are talking to each other. And it says, Punk, yo. And then Funk says, we are cool. And then there's an entire, I'm not going to go through the dialogue. I don't think there's any point in
Please
that.
don't. Unless you want to do it
I'm
together.
Not going to do that.
I can open it if you want.
We could try that if you like. Yeah, let's do that, actually. That for funsies, why not? It's on the lemon.
All right. Do you want to be Punk or Funk?
I'll be Punk. I'll start things off, and then you can be Funk, okay? So, are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Yo.
We are the Cool
Croc Twins. We are crap at this. You're going to steer me through 60 slamming levels to get me stepping out with Daisy, right?
Oh, me, man. That'd be cool, too.
Just hit fire to jump and light all them lights to zap through the levels.
Uh-huh. Tell it like it is, bro.
on the way, watch out for nasty little suckers and switching the lights back off. Don't touch those things, man. They're lethal.
They sure are, but hit them in midair or land on them and they disappear, man.
Splat.
Giving cool bonuses like.
Don't tell them. Let them find out for themselves.
Whatever you say, bro. Do you think I should tell them about all the special blocks and stuff?
Nah, they'll pick it up, just like the special joystick control. If you don't like it, tough.
Or you could switch to classic control just to get up and funkin'.
Yeah, if you can't take the pace, it's tough out there, remember?
Stay cool.
And keep on crocking. Yeah, I don't think we were very convincing, but it is what it is, right? That's the thing. All right, okay, enough now, and scene, I think is what we say at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've landed on the main title screen, with its big old logo and sort of grand music, you'll need to make some choices. 1 or 2 players. I could only do 1 player, so I didn't get the excitement of the simultaneous 2-player mode, but I imagine it's pretty cool. Pressing the joystick left will see the text move on the bottom to highlight other choices. You can choose the high scores view, a nice colourful high score table, of course. Code, where you can enter codes for access to the levels in the game, what we like to call real player affordance. And then there is joystick, where you can control the method by which you control the player in the game. This is important because there are 2 ways to do this. One option is classic, so up, down, left, right, fire to jump. The other is special, where moving the joystick right moves croc clockwise and moving left moves croc anti-clockwise. Now, this is all explained in the manual too, and you won't quite understand why that choice is important until you just sort of play the game without reading that like I did. But suffice to say that both ways are totally playable, but the latter is probably the better way, albeit with the steeper learning curve. Or should I say, it takes a bit of getting used to, but is actually the better way to play the game once you get used to it. Okay, so that's my advice. If you're going to play this, and you probably should, I would opt for the special mode. Try that out first. Try and get used to it, because it's actually, once you sort of say, it makes more sense in the game space. It will all come to be revealed what I mean. So with the options selected, you start the game and you'll immediately get the mini animated interstitial sequences. And I can't speak today. The interstitial sequences, which I liked very much. Now, these are a good old throwback to more arcade console logic, and indeed this game has a strong sense of console logic to it. It's no bad thing either, because this totally pulls it off of the C64, and that is very welcome indeed, as we've sailed through the sea of inadequacy over the past 2 episodes. Good sound, good graphics, nice animations. It was like Christmas, wasn't it? It really was. I was like, it can happen. I had little 8-bit tears in my eyes. It did. Really did. Little 2-colour tears. Sharp. Yeah. It's way more than I thought it would. They're really wide. The C64 tears are so wide.
Why are they too wide and one high? They're coming out painfully.
The game then. And a wonderfully colourful screen awaits you. And this is a single-screen puzzle action type game. A single simple UI at the top, lives, score, tiles, 2-player lives and score. Simple, just simple at the top. You know, keeps everything. Sorry, titles keeps everything at the top. So 1 line, good. Below that is its whole game after that, framed in a really nice style. I thought really nicely realised backgrounds here, showcasing some lovely use of colour. Set the scene in a jungle, palm, sort of trees kind of vibe at this point. And atop this is your fun-looking croc character hanging upside down on the kind of surrounding rail of the game. Dotted around the screen are a series of light switches and vertical and horizontal short platforms. And of course, there are some spawning baddies that are ready to mooch and get into mischief at any given moment. The way it plays is quite straightforward. Move croc around the rail, walls, press fire to jump or drop into the light switches multiple times to fully engage them or switch all the lights on. Navigate your way around. And this is where it gets pretty clever. Let's say you're on the top of the screen and you align to a platform. You can drop or jump onto it, and from there you can then move around that platform, kind of rotate around it if you like. And then you can bump the light switches and move further around and drop to another platform or drop to the bottom. Then you can move around to the left or right and climb the walls. And from there you can jump onto a vertical platform. And so in essence, you can jump up or down or left or right and move around the platforms on the screen. Each of the light switches takes 3 or 4 bumps to fully activate, so you need to get a move on. Of course, that's not it though. The baddies can also do this and will aim to get in your way and switch off the lights. Annoying that when they do that, but they do it. So if you jump through one of these, and if you jump through any of those baddies or you land on one, when you sort of land on the back of the platform, that was a good way to get rid of them. But if they happen to touch you outside of that, then you lose a life. Okay. If you do squash them or to go through them, you will get extra points as well, of course, for that. So once you, as you say, when you're moving around, if you lose a life, if you lose all your lives, game over. The aim is to turn all the light switches on that screen on, and that will allow you to move on to the next screen and progress through the game. That's the kind of point of it. You've got to get all the way through to the end to impress Croquette, or whatever her name was. The levels obviously get more...
Is that a sister?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. The levels obviously get more challenging as new elements are added. So different enemies, different kinds of special blocks appear too. Now, according to my information, these special blocks, and this again, they didn't reveal this in the game instructions, but in Zapped they did. So you've got brick walls, crystals, which I'm not going to read the Zapped descriptions because they're rubbish, boulders, and then you've got a question mark. So they've got kind of special powers, those. And some of them sort of hold you for a second, change your direction. You can jump on them from the bottom and then move off to the left. These question mark ones kind of a bit of a mystery about what you may end up doing. That's the kind of the point of the game. So it's a bit of a voyage of discovery. All the while, this plays seamlessly well. No glitches, no bugs, really nicely realised sprites, I thought. graphics great, music good, a wonderfully solid production all through, I thought this. Should you meet your maker, you get a nice graphic sequence, some more great music, and you can add to the high scores. Should you get to the next level when you see some fun interstitials and then onward you go, all at the right pace, with the right level of affordance and at the right level of difficulty and challenge. A balanced game, Adrian, a balanced game. We don't get many of those, do we? Normally stupidly hard.
Do not.
So really I like this game a lot. I like this game a lot, Adrian. Mm-hmm. It is exceedingly rare that we get a game as well made and as much fun as this. We don't get them very often. It's achieved by following the simple golden rules. Now, we've many times discussed these golden rules, but I'll go over them again. Mm-hmm. Keep the game simple, rule number 1. Keep the game fun, rule number 2. Give your players an in, rule number 3. Make it doable, rule number 4. And then on top of that, have well-realized sounds and graphics. Stick to what works and iterate over the game design elements that make sense. It's very much old school arcade heritage, that kind of thinking. Or at least at the start, like I said at the start, maybe more modern in this kind of frame time, more like the console style platform games, the lessons they're learning from that. But that's where this game really succeeds, because it's not trying to do anything stupidly crazy. It's just doing what it does really well and iterates over that design. Good idea, that. Funny that. Mm-hmm. Arcades have been doing that for years. And it works, doesn't it? This is a lot of fun. And I can only imagine in 2 players a really good laugh, because I think in 2 players it's actually kind of a race to do it first, isn't it? I think that's how it works. I didn't get a chance to play it that way. Mm-hmm. For once, Adrian, I never got bored playing this or thrown out of the game by, frustration in some way. I was entertained. It was fun to get around the controls, and underneath there is a deceptively clever and fun game waiting and a lot to go at. 60 levels is plenty for this, that's for sure. So you're going to get decent value for money, I thought here. And remember, you've got the 2-player experience as well. Now, this should have been a gold medal. It's staggering to me that it only scored 87% in Zapped. Staggering. Now, I'm going to read this. One of the reviewers gave 80%, and this is what they said about the game, Adrian. Now, listen to this. Mm-hmm. This is Ian, whoever that was. What a weird game. The graphics are lousy, with a main sprite that looks like a frog in a liquidizer and backgrounds that often obscure the platforms. The joystick controls make no sense at all, but after a few plays, you find there is a game in there after all. I was sick to death of trending, talking superpowered reptiles after the turtles, but this offering revived my interest. Well, almost. It's too poorly executed to be a top-notch sizzler, but original gameplay and a keen sense of humour make it well above average. What? Did he play the right game?
Don't think so.
Just, talk about non-committal in your own words as well. On the one hand, he's saying, it's rubbish. And then the next one, it was, well, it's not very well executed. It annoyed me, that did. Because the other reviewer gave it 90-odd. This should have been a gold medal. Look at what else is in this magazine. Look at in the last few dying days of the C64 and Zap 64. You can't afford to give a decent game a good percentage. Stop doing this, because this is why people turned away from Zap towards the end, because they were just sick of this kind of stupid. In this episode, you've got Elvira getting really high percentage. It was the gold medal, in fact. But I think as I thought, I'm going to have to look through this magazine. How did that get that kind of score? I'm not saying it's terrible. It wasn't, but it's not a great game in any way. It certainly wasn't deserving of a gold medal, or that upper elite in the 90s, whatever it was.
It's 94 Sizzler. But
so why would they give a game that cost twice as much money a high rating, was my thought. Then again, I noticed Elvira had posters, adverts, competition prizes. It was, at least there was pages of coverage for Elvira in that magazine, which made me think that they paid. They'd given them a big chunk of cash in terms of prizes and marketing dollars and everything else, which is why it got a high percentage, without a doubt. So, and of course, because these guys probably didn't do that, there's your review. Sucks, doesn't it? But that's clearly what was driving it. There's no doubt about that. It can't be a coincidence. So anyway, that was where my thought process went with that. So I'd say is this: ignore the fools at Zap, if not that anyone even probably bothered about it now. But I would say ignore what they say there. Even some of the reviews on Lemon were a little bit kind of on the fence. Yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. It's okay. It's like, this is a great game. Really great game. Really well put together. Not a fault in sight as far as I could see. Now, is it the most amazing game in the universe? It's not. But in the dying days of the C64, we'd have done well to have more games like this, wouldn't we? And less games like that football crazy shit one we had last time.
Yeah.
So I say ignore them. Go and play this. It's a really refreshing blast of arcade-style fun for the C64. It's very well put together in a very competent package with people who knew what they were doing behind it. Funny that. What's not to like about that? Go and give it a go. I thought this was really great. What did you think?
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. This is basically from the team that, and you can see it if you think, it's the team, not just the coder, but it's also the graphics and the sound guy. They did Volfied. If you think Volfied moving around the edge of the screen, flying across the screen, and it's got that same movie. So you can see that lineage. I mean, I think this is it's a port from the Amiga version, or is it the DOS version? I think originally came out. The credits on Moby list some guy, what's his name? Benoit Varath as the designer on this across the 16-bit version. So I think this is an output. But you wouldn't think it. I thought this was an arcade game. I honestly thought this was some kind of lost arcade game. I was like, oh, he's one of these single screen, because this, wouldn't have looked out of place in there. And I didn't know what to expect. Cool Croc Twins. We've seen a lot of this weird sort of names like Bonanza Bros and things like that. So, and that was good, but I didn't know what to expect. And at first, playing with it, there's standard controls, the ones you should play with and get used to. It was a bit disorienting. But about 25, 30 seconds later, it clicked. I was like, okay, there we go. And I was playing it, and it was great. So I was having a right blast with this. It's fast, it's simple, it's immensely addictive, single screen antics, great visuals, they're easy to see, nice music to really keep the pace up and the interest levels high. It does everything we've been asking for ages. Music, sound effects, nice, simple, clear graphics. Yep. Those background graphics are great as well. I never got anything really lost within them. They're really nicely they're very versions of the 16-bit versions, but they're really, when you look at them, that big tree on the right, I'm like, it's just brown, but it's brown used well.
Yeah, it's really well done. Yeah.
So it's like, that's cool. Flinging yourself across the screen to hit the blocks, power them up. Oh, whatever you actually think you're doing, but turning on the batteries or whatever is great, especially when you time it to take out one of the enemies at the same time. It's very satisfying. There's a nice, dopamine hit of like, haha, you get a score, you hit a power up, whatever. The presentation's great. The little interstitials, remind me of Pac-Man, when he gets chased across and things like that, all that kind of stuff. It's all here. That's what I thought it was, an arcade game. Great backgrounds, even on the high score table's really nice. It feels like the kind of game, as you've already said, I was hoping to have more of at this point. I thought as we get into this stage, we'll have lots of these kind of things, and it's just not. And like I said, I was surprised this wasn't an arcade port. It wouldn't if you walked into an arcade and saw this, you'd have pumped 10p's into this and be quite happy. And you'd have played it 2 players and been quite happy. There'd have been no probably 60 levels as well to go at. 60, that's a lot, isn't it? And 2 players. That's what more do you want? Power-ups, various pickups also add variety, as do the various obstacles. Make you consider, just because it's tricky. It gets tricky getting to some of those the plugs or whatever it is you've got to hit. It gets tricky because you can only flang off a platform in a certain direction, left, right, up, or down.
That's right.
Some of them are blocked, so you kind of got to work out. I've got to go to that one to go up a bit, hook to that one, hook to that one,
that one, and
all the time the enemies are floating around and things like that. And I imagine in 2-player it's chaos because they're doing the same thing. So okay, may look nice on the 16-bit machines, but I think this is a great looking game. The gameplay here is captured perfectly, and it moves at just the right pace too. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. It's perfect. It's a really, really cracking game. A great game. And this is another one never heard of, never knew anything about. I am really glad to have found this. And the point of the podcast really, wasn't it, was to find these hidden gems. And Cool Croc Twins, crap name aside. But I suppose, Mario Brothers, Bonanza Brothers, it's in those kind of lineage, in it, Super Guyana Sisters, it's in that kind of thing. But this is a great game. And if you take one thing away from this week, go play it. Go hunt this down, go have a crack, because it's really, really, really good. On I imagine the Amiga versions, DOS, ST, whatever you can play it on. But the C64 version stands as absolutely alongside them. Great stuff.
Yep.
Wow. I'm just not used to being effusive about a game.
No, I know. Tell me about it. It actually hurt. I was trying to think of good things to say. I was like, oh God, I've forgotten how to do that.
I know.
I had to resist writing the word turd all the time. I'm like, why do I keep typing the word turd?
I know. Oh dear. But it's okay though. We've only got to do it once this week.
Yeah. Soon back to form. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is like Mount Fuji.
Yes.
In the landscape.
And exists and then it's back in the room.
Up and then we're back down. Yeah. So there you go. That's Cool Croc Twins. I'm pretty sure that's got to be our high score attack game on the Discord this week for sure.
Yeah.
But go play it. It's really good. Let's move on to our next game to see if it's equally as good. And this is international ice hockey. We're back in budget realm, $3.99. And it's odd, it's got 70%, but it's odd that this is only the second out-and-out ice hockey game we've had in the magazine.
Actually, I was thinking there wasn't lots of them, is there?
No. Lemon only lists another 3. None of which reached the pages of Zap. In fact, the only other one we had to look at was Superstar Ice Hockey back in January 1988, episode 74, and that was a Ringler release.
Oh no, that music, the Ringler music.
Is it coming back to you?
Yeah.
Omniplay horse racing or Omniplay ice hockey or whatever. Omniplay options. But we're back on the ice again in budget form with International Ice Hockey from Zeppelin Games. So this was coded by David Sowerby. You may remember him from such things as International Five-A-Side, Round the Bend, Sleepwalker, Tai Chi Tortoise, and Q10 Tank Buster. Graphics and title screen by Neil Hislop. You may remember him from F1 Tornado, International Five-A-Side, Round the Bend, Sleepwalker, Tai Chi Tortoise, and Q10 Tank Buster. The music is by Andrew Roger, who you may remember from International Five-A-Side, Sleepwalker, Tai Chi Tortoise, and Q10 Tank Buster. A stalwart team of Zeppelin usuals. Yes. And keep in mind, International Five-A-Side, as we talk about this one. Just cast your mind back to that International Five-A-Side game. Just think about that for a moment and just have that in your mind when we talk about this. Trying to find instructions for this was nigh on impossible because it only came out on the C64 Amiga and ST. And usually at this stage, you usually find a Spectrum inlay. Yeah. C64 inlays are rare. And the Amiga and ST, I did find the Amiga box instructions. I don't think it matters really because there's not much to this that we've not seen before. So it's ice hockey, budget ice hockey. There's a nice loading screen, I thought. The nice loading screen was actually quite good. Showing some ice hockey players. That's pretty well drawn. But then we get to the title screen and strange feelings of deja vu start to set
didn't
in.
it just? Yeah, it's funny that.
This is strange. We have a blue screen with two hockey players skating in place either side of the rather plainly written name of the game in the sort of top half of the screen. We have the credits beneath this and then some options. We have face off, which takes us to a quick game. Options and tournament. In the options, we can change the colours of the teams at the time of the match from 2 minutes, 5, 10. I think it's times of not the quarters, the thirds, isn't it, in an ice hockey game, whatever.
Yeah.
2 minutes, 5, 10, or 20. We can set the other player to CPU or human control and set the skill of the CPU from amateur to professional.
Ooh.
In tournament mode, we have 8 teams, and you can select which one you want to be, and it's a straight knockout to the final. No 2-player game in the tournament mode. So it's just that. Whatever you decide to do, you'll end up at the game. And what we have here is a standard side-on ice hockey game. It is what it is. We've seen loads of these in this style. The game starts with some big letters saying first period.
It is quite wide, that quite shiny and multicolour.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, okay. At the bottom, we've got a basic UI with scores for either player on the left and the right, and the time remaining in the middle. Some green bars separate these. The screen is very blue. Black lines at the various lines on the rink. And at the top, we have some boards advertising other Zeppelin games that you may want to play or you may not. And the players appear. And there are enough of them on screen at any one time. I counted 7 at one point. They're all 2 sprites high. So I think some good multiplexer stuff going on here. No flickering or anything that I noticed. So, it's all right. Controls your usual 8-way directions. I'll come to them in a little bit. Pressing or holding fire when you have the puck will hit it in a vague direction that you're facing. Who knows which way, really? It'll hit it in a direction. The movement of your player is inertia based, I guess, to simulate being on skates. You start off moving slow and then gradually get faster. And this makes it more difficult to turn and pick up loose pucks or tackle or do anything really. Perhaps slam into the sides. I think you can try and get the puck off the opponent by tapping fire when next to them, but I usually found that this just ended up in a foul against me.
Yep, every time.
So, but the computer, they're always doing it to me.
Oh, they never get it. They get away with murder.
Yeah, they do. You play out the game, scoring or not, and it's game over, or you move on to the next round of the cup or whatever. It is what it is. It's basic budget stuff. Now, I'm probably making this sound more interesting than it is. And I'm not making it sound very interesting, but it's still more interesting than it actually is. Because there's no excitement here. And in all seriousness, this is just a reskin of International Five-A-Side from the top down. The title screen is the same, aside from a blue background on this one instead of grey, as it was on International Five-A-Side. Hockey players instead of footballers, and it's got a different bit of music. The options are the same, the credits are the same, and even the same colours for the fonts. And the options are the same, apart from kickoff instead of face-off. Exactly the same. It's all the same stuff. It's essentially the same. You have you have sticks and a puck instead of your feet and the ball.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. There's more players. I'll say there's more players on screen, so they've upped the ante slightly in that bit, but otherwise it's just the same. It's the same experience and about as much fun to play. The inertia makes it hard to control, not in a way that makes it feel like you're on ice, just in a way that means you're just moving far too fast and you can't control anything, just in an annoying way. Swapping players is manual. You have to take control because your players are idiots. They are dumb on a level that I've not seen in quite a while. They're actually dumb in a way since I've not seen International Five-A-Side, so clearly there's been no code update there. They'll just watch the puck slide past their feet. Like, what's that? Buster,
Yeah.
what I do.
Puck go by.
Gary Puck? Oh, God, Gary. It's just, you play with like Gary Lineker's.
It is. It's Gary Lineker's ice hockey team. They should have called it that. Gary Lineker's ice hockey.
Absolutely.
Hit puck with stick.
What do with stick?
It's not called that.
What do with stick? Clean teeth? No, Gary.
For goodness sake, and put your ice skates on.
No, on your feet.
Idiot.
If you should happen to hit the side of the rink, just graze it like with a slight elbow, anything.
Yeah.
Then you'll smack into it, and you'll be splayed against the perspex for a good number of seconds for no good reason. Even if you just happen to catch it, you'll do this loads because the inertia will just take you into it, which is annoying.
It will.
You slam it, graze it. During this time, you can do nothing. You can do nothing against the master, and you cannot even swap players, which is annoying. So you're stuck controlling a player that you can't move who's stuck against the perspex for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
There's no real crowd noises. There's nothing to raise interest during the game. The physics on the puck are laughable at best.
Yeah.
We just had the Winter Olympics, and I watched some ice hockey when it was on the TV. That puck, that moves fast and far. I mean, when they hit it, it's like, it's like a bullet.
Yes.
This doesn't.
No.
It's like it's I don't know. It's Velcro. Someone's Velcroed that puck. And when you do manage to hit it, when it just decides to go some way, it weirdly speeds up as it should be slowing down for some reason. Physics is all bad, all wrong. The goalkeepers are idiots. They do nothing. Sometimes they stop a shot, and if they do, they just hit the ball directly out from them in a straight line. There's no control of them. There's no thing. This is a bad sports game and does not reflect the sport in any real way. Having never played ice hockey, but I have watched it on TV and time and time, and I've watched the Olympics this recently. And I said I was watching the Canada-Finland game, and I watched a couple of others. And it's just, it's just crazy. It's really fast.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
With a load of Gary Linekers floating about on a blue screen. No, it might look like it. It might look like ice hockey, but it ain't ice hockey. It is dull, simple, and ultimately a reskin with some slightly different physics of a game we already hated for being rubbish. We did. So don't reskin rubbish. You paint a turd a different colour, it's still a turd.
Yes. I knew the word turd would be in there somewhere.
I had to get it in. There is none of the excitement or frenetic qualities of ice hockey here. Just a banal, boring piece of budget shovelware. Avoid. What did you think?
Exactly the same. I mean, apart from the fact that it's, like you said, a blue reskin of a crap game that nobody wanted, you can't make it more exciting by putting more boring players in it that can do nothing. I mean, multiplexing, cleverness aside, made the world's greatest multiplexer and filled it with dumb idiots. Well done. Well done. Golf clap for that, I think. Golf clap. So no, it was just crap. This was just really crap. Now, I've been to an actual live ice hockey game, and I can tell you it is really frantic and fast. And one of the key things that occurred to me when I was watching that was that it's in a rink, and the rink is an oval shape. And that's quite important because they can hit the puck around the back of the oval shape, and it goes all the way around.
Exactly, I forgot to mention that. All
sorts of fancy trickery. And when they do hit that puck at like 1,000,000 miles an hour, the goalie guy is wearing industrial strength, super thick pads because it goes so fast and it's quite dangerous. So quite a dangerous sport, actually. Not that you're watching these idiots scoot around. Let's display hockey. It's rubbish. Goodness me. And this is what happens if you let Gary Lineker coach an ice hockey team. God help us. Absolutely awful. Apart from, for some reason, when I was playing it, a couple of the characters went completely black. Like their sprites just went to the colour of black. So they looked like ninjas for a while, just floating around, ninjas with bare feet, which was weird. I don't know. It wasn't very good. That's what I'll say. I wrote one down. The first word, that I wrote down was unexciting. And it is. It's a soundless ice hockey game is bad enough. But one where the players are stupid and it's been coached by Lineker, no. We should never have allowed him to do that. It was a bad idea, this. But it's clearly obvious what they've done as well. I mean, goodness me. Was this a Zeppelin game, wasn't it? I mean, we used to really like Zeppelin. They're going down in my estimations week on week here. They're tumbling down the hill. Yeah. So this is a crap reskin of a crap game. You can't make an impressive multiplexer. Is that really what you want people to say about your game, your ice hockey game? That's the ice hockey crap. But the multiplexer's brilliant. Great. Thanks for that. Now, egg off is what I say. Egg off.
Yeah, into the sin bin with this.
Yes, into the sin bin you go. Yes.
Another ice hockey terms that I don't know.
I don't know anymore. Power play.
No, I don't.
I don't know what that really... it's when there's 4 players, isn't it? I don't know. Let's not explore any more ice hockey.
When someone's in the sin bin, then they've got for a period of time, and then you play. It's like 5 against 4 or something, isn't it? They're a player down.
They call it a power play, don't they? Then, yeah.
I only know, like I said, I only know this because I watched the Olympics recently.
There was lots of elaborate skating around in patterns when I watched it. Or was I watching figure skating? Making me think. Come to think of it, they didn't have hockey sticks.
Yeah. And they had a really big puck and they were just going up and down. Oh no, it's the curling.
And they were much more lifty than I thought they'd be. Oh well, the jumps were good. Oh, well. Anyway, enough of this.
Whatever, it's better than international ice hockey, which is rubbish. 70% garbage.
No way.
No way. There we go. That's our first two games for this week. One good, one bad. Yeah. 50%. Or maybe
so
that.
Far.
I think, we've still got the second part to go yet. We're going to go away, take a quick break after that exciting lot. And we will come back with the TV and film from September 1992 and see exactly what was going on there. See you in a bit.
The novel Escape from the Commodore 64 by David Hearn is out now. Crash landing on a green planet full of vector graphics, can Sarah find a way to escape for real? Or is she stranded on a planet full of sun, sea, and chippy tea forever? Imagine finding yourself in a cinematic karate game, having to rescue a princess or remain stuck under the run-stop key forever. What about finding yourself on a space freighter full of robots? Could you clear the decks? If you were transported back to a Wild West town, having to round up outlaws, could you survive until sunset? What if you were a wizard with a cat who must colour worlds? Could you beat the game, or would a virtual guitar solo announce your demise? Sarah might just be another visitor, but she doesn't want to stay a while, never mind forever. Available from Amazon and all good online retailers, discover if there's a way out in Escape from the Commodore 64. Visit davidhearnwriter.com to find out more.
And we're back. We're back with the film and television for the UK, September 1992. What were we watching? What was going on? I tell you what, Graham, having looked at this lot, I wasn't watching a lot of it.
Well,
it's getting less and less. We say this every month, but it's less and less that I've been watching. I don't know. What was I doing, sorry?
You would have been going to college for your second year.
That is true. Just started, September 92.
So you'd have been busy getting prepared for whatever it was, and I actually started college.
You just started, hadn't you? Yeah, you just started.
So we were at college at the same time, albeit in different groups.
Yeah, different year groups, weren't we? I was with Brown Sauce, though.
Yeah, I know. I felt sorry for you, really. I mean, he did stink. No, he didn't stink all that. He didn't. He didn't.
He was lovely.
All the time.
He was a good, fun person to have in the group. Kept losing his glasses.
He's always a good, fun person to have in any situation. In all fairness to him.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just trying to be nice,
Just trying to be nice,
dickhead.
but certainly wasn't watching a lot of this. 1st of September, Sky Sports becomes a subscription channel. Sky Movies stops showing non-movies programming, which it should have done. It's called Sky Movies. It's never been showing non-movies programming anyway. It's previously shown selected premium content such as live boxing, music concerts, and World Wrestling Federation matches due to it having been Sky's only encrypted channel. It was known as Sky Movies Plus until today before the launch of the multi-channel package.
There you go.
So I had a bit of a look into this. What was the costing? So basically, Sky beat ITV by bidding $304 million for 5 years for all the Premier League football, live Premier League football broadcasting for 5 years. That doesn't seem like a lot these days, $304 million.
No, nowadays it's not, but probably back then it's quite a lot.
Probably back then, yeah. So in doing so, they've taken live top flight English League football from terrestrial and free-to-air television for the very first time.
Yep.
There you go.
Goodbye.
Changed to a foot. It became a monthly subscription. When it was launched, when Sky Sports became a subscription channel on 1st September 1992, it was launched with an introductory offer of approximately $2.99 a month. I thought it was going more than that.
Blimey. That seems like, that's for existing subscribers. Remember that you paid $2.99 extra on top of what you were already paying for your other channels.
Yeah, so you had to have the B Sky B dish. So you had to have the Sky dish and everything and be paying for your Sky rental and everything like that. But if you wanted this on top, it was an extra £3. I remember paying for this and it was something like about 25 quid or something.
Yeah, exactly. It is that around that now and about 15, 20 quid, I think.
Following the initial period, the price of the channel was generally offered as part of a package or for a time around £6 per month for standalone access.
Yeah. They
had to pay that $304 million back somehow, didn't they?
Yeah, well, that, and you have to pay, that time you have to pay for the set top, you have to pay for your dish, you have to pay for it to be installed as well.
I know. There was nothing came for free back then.
No, and they pointed it in at the satellite for you, which you obviously weren't allowed or capable of doing.
What would you know?
Well, no, you could hazard a guess, couldn't you? You could just rotate it until eventually you got a picture. Next, hold it there.
Have we got a picture? No.
Right, one more degree. You got 360 goes, haven't you, more or less?
True. You're pointing at the house.
Yeah. Not that way.
Yeah, because they could only put it on one side of houses.
I'm on television.
Yeah, because that was the thing, wasn't it? They could only put it on one side of houses. So you go down. Yeah. You could go down houses, and everyone would have it on the back of the house, and the other side of the street would all be on the front of the house because it had to point in the one direction.
Yeah, yes. Well, let's point at the satellite. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Yeah. It's a geostationary satellite, but I had to point at it. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't see many Sky dishes still around here.
Well, no, they don't need them now, thanks to the broadband infrastructure upgrade.
Yeah, I do actually think and believe that there's one on the back of our house.
There's one on my house. I've still got a dish.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's still there.
I don't know really what it's there for. I don't know what it does. But apparently it's important.
Well, it's important. 4th of September, London Weekend Television launches new idents, sometimes called the flying block idents.
Oh, the more idents. God, they're going through some idents, aren't they? Goodness.
I know, and I found a compilation of all the London Weekend Television idents and watched them. And,
wow, who does those?
I don't know, but the one at 38 seconds is the first I remember. That and the LWT comes on that colourful line drops down.
Yep, I remember.
I don't remember anything else. Anyway, boring in it though. Idents. It's not really interesting. 5th of September, ITV showed the 1987 science fiction action movie Predator as part of a season of films starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, you probably remember this more than I do. Was this shown uncut or cut?
That's a very good question. I believe it was. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that they would have cut out of it. I think the swearing was probably dubbed, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I did find an IMDb page that did list all the different versions in different countries and stuff that is cut. There's a lockout of several versions. There was a weird DVD release where they released by accident the German cut version.
Weird.
I know. There's loads of weird stuff, but like I'm thinking that a lot of the swearing, a lot of places cut out, like when Dylan's arm gets cut off, blown off and stuff like that.
It's on the sharper edge of extreme. Billy's laugh, I bet, because that just annoys everybody. Get rid of that.
When he cuts himself, and that's a bit graphic.
Yeah, that's big
There's
graphic,
people being skinned and things.
Yeah, I think that's the bit you're going to get where they steal the bodies hanging in the trees. You're probably not going to see much of that. Yeah,
no, probably not. So I think, given what they did to things like RoboCop and Aliens at the time.
Can you imagine cutting those bits out there? That whole first act is about them finding what happened to Jim Hopper's men. If they don't find them, there's just a mystery. They went into the jungle. What happened to Jim Hopper's men? We don't know. Hell, it's just like the trees took them.
Yeah, maybe they did.
You could cut that sequence down to like 1 minute. They're flying in on the helicopter, and the next minute he's firing that missile, lifting the car up, and they're at the base. It's like, what happened before that? You don't need to worry about that. Don't worry about that.
It's just the ITV cut. We like to fit it into 45 minutes so we can put adverts in.
Well, it would have been, they would have had adverts as well, wouldn't it? So it would have been a lot shorter.
Yeah. Have you watched that? Just as an aside to this, there's a new Netflix film, War Machine. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I've heard it's very good, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's got him. It's got Reacher, the guy.
I saw the trailer. It looked pretty good.
Alien army group out in the jungle, out in the sort of thing. Alien comes down, starts to wipe them all out.
It's one totally left. Predator, but no, I don't mind. I don't mind if they do good alternatives.
Meet aliens. It's good. Yeah. The last 15 minutes will make you go, "Eh."
Well, that happens a lot actually recently. That happened when I watched quite a few films recently, so it won't surprise me. Because the last 15 minutes go beyond the ending into a. Yeah, you'll see what I mean. I'll watch it. I'll watch that. But yeah, I do like that sort of stuff. So I do like that. Yeah, it's perfectly fine for the first sort of 75, 80 minutes. It's perfectly fine, and then it's anyway. The same kind of air you get towards the end of Everything Everywhere All at Once, where you go. Okay, this rock's talking shit. Okay, works. It kind of works. No, you'll know what I mean. Just watch it. You'll know what I mean. I'll watch it. Okay. 12th of September, ITV shows the 1982 John Milius directed sword and sorcery epic Conan the Barbarian, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Of course, as part of their season of films starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, I presume. Yeah, it would have been. And that would also have been cut. Yeah, and I can't imagine seeing that in 4:3 full screen. Those epic shots. Yeah, it would have lost all of that, wouldn't it? It would have panned and scanned as well, awfully. So it would have had those horrible scooty zooms that don't quite work. And Just, it wouldn't have been very good. And can you imagine how close up you'd have been to when Valeria appears and says, "Do you want to live forever?" At the end, she's just been like this giant in the screen. You'd be like, "Ah!" So,
or where Conan lifts his head up from when he's pushing the wheel of woe, whatever.
It's going to be massive.
Just be Arnold Schwarzenegger's face, be huge.
Excellent.
Great
There's a
film,
new version of that out on Blu-ray. Yeah, it's great. There's a new version out on which you can acquire, which is a new print of it, which is very good. I recommend that. And it's also fully uncut and the alternative version. So there's several versions of Conan. Some of them have different beginnings, different scenes. This one of the versions got the same scene but shot from a different camera. And has almost a completely different ending, but they're all worth watching. It's a great movie. So. And the soundtrack is glorious.
Yeah, it is my favourite soundtrack.
It is very good indeed.
Yeah, it is very good. And don't make sure you do, if you do get hold of this, make sure you get the right one, not the more recent Conan the Barbarian.
No, don't get that one. No, don't get that one. That's pantaloons.
Yeah, that's rubbish.
Do you know there's also? Did you know this, that they've also done a new version of Red Sonja?
Yes, I know that because I watched it.
And it's also crap.
It's dreadful.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
It's not going to be on the good list, is it? That one is awful.
Yeah, I watched it in my front room, and I was tempted to walk out.
You should have to walk out of your own lounge.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do
Gary
this.
does all the time, and then he complains to his wife about the adverts.
Yeah, true. He's always walking out of films, Gary. We always get messages from him going, "I was watching so bad I walked out."
You'd be surprised. He actually does that. That's his defense mechanism. So in any situation, he does that. If he's in a restaurant, he just gets up, tells everyone he's sick of the adverts, and then leaves. And everyone's like, "What's he talking about? Why are we bothered if he leaves?"
What adverts?
Exactly. Who is that man? Who is that awful man?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, curry all down his front. Anyway, Also, 12th of September, Casualty returns to BBC One for a 7th series, moving from its previous Friday evening slot to Saturday evenings for its longest ever run of 24 episodes.
Yay, Causality is back.
24 episodes of slowly mounting peril.
It is that. What's that film where it's Final Destination? Is it? This is just the TV version of Final Destination, isn't it, really? That's where they got the ideas from, I'm sure of it. I mean, obviously, it's way more graphic in Final Destination. Have you seen the latest one of them? The deaths in it are horrible. Really horrible. I mean, they're always horrible. I decided I was just like, no. I think the first one has a sense of fun, and then I think they kind of lost that a little bit. I like the first one's good. Then there's the rest of crap. Then the fifth one is actually surprisingly good. I think it's the fifth one. Or the one that came out before this one, and then this one came out, and it was just gruesome.
I wasn't ready for that. The twist at the end.
Yeah, it is, and it's got some of the original, revisiting the original themes. I think that's the best way I can do it without giving away spoilers. And then this recent one was just really gruesome. So, true to form, I suppose, really, they are. Casualties, not causality, should I say. It's always kind of icky, but never that gruesome.
Yeah. Billy, stop playing with that gas fire. Stop playing with that gas fire.
Oof. Oh, where's my eyebrows? Your eyebrows, mate. You've lost all your hair.
Absolutely.
Where's my burger? Damn it, Billy.
You're like a troll.
You got any petrol for this barbecue, Terry? Yeah,
let me just spray it in over the fence.
Yeah, just be careful with that.
Absolutely. How many plugs you got plugged into that socket there? It's all right. It'll cut off as his electricity surge. Only 14.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm just going to use your air dryer in the bath. Is that all right, Tom? Yeah, it should be okay. Bzz, bzz, bzz. You're right, Terry.
Why is this toaster in the sink? Anyway, that's Casualty.
And that's Casualty. It is exactly that.
Absolutely. When was the last time you had your brakes checked on your car, Jeff? You don't need them checked. They always work.
They always work. Always work. Always work.
Bloody Casualty. Anyway, you could have watched 24 episodes if you wanted. If you were,
we've just done 7
in 1992. Yeah, absolutely. Charlie goes, a lot.
He does do that a lot.
I'll remember. Anyway, new shows, and I've aside from a couple of these, I've never heard any of these.
No, I hadn't either.
What's going on? 4th of September, Between the Lines.
Never watched it. I was aware of it.
I'm not. It's this show centered on the eventful life of Detective Superintendent Tony Clark, an ambitious member of the Complaints Investigation Bureau. Is there anything more British than a show that based itself on the complaints department and calls itself thrilling?
No, there isn't. That's the exact definition of British TV in the 90s.
What complaint you got today, Tony? Oh, this one's a right doozy.
Is this like some kind of armed points of view?
Yeah, it's like between the lines. You have to read between the lines on these complaints to see who's really at wrong.
I can just picture
that's
it now
what
as
was
well.
said.
Yeah, exactly.
Rubbish.
No.
5th of September, there was Batman, the animated series. Started. I don't think I watched much of that, but I've heard good things about it. Are you a fan of this? Did you watch much of it?
I saw a few of them. I've never been a big Batman advocate or anything like that, really. I knew someone who was well into these, though, and they were pretty well done. They were kind of quite a modern take of the animation, very much in the style of the sort of proper Batman, I guess what you'd call it. So not the diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle version, but like, proper, with the eyes that are kind of dark and illuminated almost in the mask, and very much more of a shadowy figure. And of course, I think this is where you got the Joker, who's voiced by, what's his name? Mark Hamill. Yeah, and so it provides you with a much more sinister maniac Joker than we'd previously seen. So, it was a much better, because obviously the Batman that was animated before this was that kind of classic 60s, 70s Batman, where they all look kind of fudgy and fat. So it was kind of like that. But it was particularly well animated. I do remember that, and there were quite a few movies of it came out, like full length versions, didn't they? So it was meant to be very good at the time. I remember, like I said, I had a friend who was well into it, and was always bringing them around on video for me to watch, and I always pretended that I watched them because I wasn't really into Batman, but just humoured him really, sang off key at him, me my mo, me mo my me.
You're a bad man. You're a bad man, Raddings. It did quite well. Its critical success led to the show winning multiple daytime Emmy Awards, as well as the primetime Emmy Award for outstanding animated programming.
It was really well put together. It was.
Yeah. So it just wasn't on my radar at the time, I think, to even watch cartoons or anything. So.
No.
5th of September, there was also What's Up, Doc?
Yeah, I wasn't watching kids' TV anymore, so it was...
No. This is basically, it's the daytime, it's the Saturday morning thing, swap job.
Had Jenny Powell in it, she might have been worth watching. She was like the modern day version of that woman off Tiswas, wasn't she? But I never really got into it. I didn't watch anything like that. If I was up and I was just, munching on cereal, not that I was ever up at that early in the morning on a Saturday, but if I was, I don't know that I'd have that on. I'd probably just end up not watching telly. I didn't watch a lot of telly at this time.
No, same here. 6th of September, a very Polish practice.
Okay.
This is a very peculiar practice. This was a British surreal black comedy from 1986 to 1988. The two series were followed by a 90-minute made-for-television film, a very Polish practice, following some of the characters to a new setting in Poland.
Yeah, but that was the laugh a minute.
Well, I never watched it. I don't think I ever watched the original, so no. Not for me. 6th September, there was Football Italia started. I'm guessing you didn't watch much of this.
None of it. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, this was Channel 4, basically. They were showing lots of live football from Italy. So Serie A.
Okay.
So you'd have Juventus first in AC Milan or whatever and things like that. I remember watching it from time to time. I just found it really hard to sort of get into. I didn't know anything about the teams. And you realise that football is only worth watching when you have some kind of skin in the game or you kind of know it is. And if you're just watching two unknown Italian Serie A teams play, you're like, I don't know what I'm watching for. Because Italian football is very different. It's a very different style to British football. So it's a style
ride around on little scooters, don't they, to start off with? Just ride around the pitch of the scooters going, hey! and other cliches that I think happen.
Yeah, none of that happens. No.
As far
it's
as
like Homer's dream about the ballet.
Exactly. Ballet. Ooh, the ballet.
It's the bit I want to see the little bear on the bike.
Decontextualized football, isn't it? That it's people with a ball, but you could go and watch that on a Sunday league, and it would be that for me. It would be the exact same thing, albeit obviously much more scaled down. Yeah,
and it's like I said, you get I just came to sort of appreciate the fact that Italian football is very different to British football. And, you either like that or you don't.
Well, the ball's made of pasta, isn't it?
11th September. Surely meatball would be better.
Well, meatball is not necessarily, but a meatball isn't necessarily Italian, but a pasta is.
Well, I suppose. 11th September, Astro Farm. Stop motion
television
kids TV show.
I wasn't watching kids TV. I just told you that. I wasn't a kid anymore. I don't watch none of that nonsense.
This is true. Well, it's September, isn't it? So they're all back to school, so they need some new stuff on when they come home. That's what this is. Because then you got 11th September, there was Terry and Julian. This is not a kids program.
Very weird idea, this.
Yeah, this was a British sitcom, Channel 4, Julian Cleary, written by Julian Cleary, Paul Merton and John Henderson. Spoofs, I don't know what it is. Reginald Marsh made a guest appearance. It's some kind of weird sitcom with a live audience.
Yeah, pastiche of Terry and June, wasn't it? So,
but I just don't remember this at all. You remember it?
No, I don't. I didn't watch Terry and June. That was way before my time. I remember seeing bits of George and Mildred that was more, but again, it wasn't really my era. And I wasn't really watching. I wasn't, I wouldn't have got the joke. I don't think. I mean, I know it would just be Paul Merton. Sorry, Julian Clary cracking sort of, jokes and stuff. And he's a funny guy, but or a funny person rather. But
the bit I watched of that episode that I've linked to there, sort of thing, is basically exactly what you expect. It's going to be like.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I don't, lots of innuendo and titty, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
14th September, there was Peter Pan and the Pirates.
See, now, that isn't a great show, but the music is very, very good. And we've also used that music for the beginning of one of our Bread Bin Awards. So there you go.
Have we? Oh, well.
We have.
There you go.
I think it was either a Bread Bin Awards or it was one of our special episodes. I think it might have been episode 64 or episode 100. But anyway, we used the Peter Pan and the Pirates music. So.
Oh, there you go. I never watched it, though.
I think he did the voice of Captain Hook in that. The guy that played It, the first iteration, Tim Curry.
Oh, okay.
So he says the word boy a lot in it for some reason.
Okay.
He does.
All right. 17th September, Noddy's Toyland Adventures. More Noddy.
Yeah. What does it matter when things go wrong? I'll sing and I'll whistle the whole day long. What does it matter when things aren't so merry and death-shrouded corpses lie ready to bury? I'll never forget those immortal Noddy words in his happy little times.
Okay. What?
That's classic Noddy. That is. You have to, Noddy's dark. People don't realise it, but Noddy is dark, and that's like classic. That's like classic Noddy poems. It's like I told you before. It's like Thomas the Tank Engine. Accidents happen now and again. That just when I least expect. That's that kind of. There's a darkness to it. Just when you think that life is unfair, fate comes to collect. That's a genuine song from Thomas the Tank Engine. Some of these kitchens have these really dark moments in. Anyway, that was Noddy's.
Okay. 17th September, Puppy Dog Tales.
No.
18th September,
the fails more like. That'll really hurt.
18th that will do. If you go back in time and just tell it to him, just do it.
Puppy Dog fails. You won't even get the context of that joke till the future, but I'm telling you, it's going to hurt right now.
Yeah. 18th September, the Chipmunks go to the movies. This was
good. Stay there.
Yeah, Alvin and the Chipmunks movie.
I hate it.
Years after they were around.
They're still churning them out. God's sake, still doing them.
Don't let it get you. I told you. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. 22nd of September, Civvies, Linda LaPlante thing.
Oh, heavy going then.
About an army soldier who finds life outside the army tougher than being in it. Slowly falls under the power of East End gangster Barry Newman, played by Peter O'Toole.
That'd be quite good, actually. He's quite good in stuff like that.
Yeah, it could be all right. 23rd of September, Ghostwriter, an educational children's mystery television series.
No.
26th September, Run the Risk, a British children's game show.
Nah, it just wasn't on my radar.
No, but part of Saturday morning game Going Live and Live and Kicking. It was presented by Peter Simon for the entire run alongside Shane Ritchie, John Eccleston and Bobby Davro.
Wow.
It's an odd combo of presenters.
Even in the 90s, nobody'd heard of them.
Bobby Davro? Everyone knew Bobby Davro.
Not in the 80s, maybe, but in the 90s, he was more Davro than Bobby by then.
True, Davros.
He's more Davros. Bobby Davros. What a concept.
Bob Davros is my, yeah.
It's just the idea of Bobby Davro being put in a chair and, with that weird blue eye on his head. Right, you're going to be Bobby Davros. Oh, bloody hell.
I will rule the universe.
I will rule the universe. Just don't press my off switch.
Just a game show.
Oh, I really like the idea of Bobby Davros.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you own something, that's what he is, isn't it? You put an S at the end.
Bobby Davros.
28. Bobby Davros. Yeah, whose is this? It's Bobby Davros's. You've summoned him. He'll get in his chair and start wheeling around.
It was he's bumping into things. He controls it like a dodger. God, get out of his way. He's rubbish. It's not like the other Davros. He was pretty cool. He could control a chair.
Yeah, he knew how to steer one. 28th September, The Big Breakfast started. Around 10 years, this.
Yeah.
Did you watch much of The Big Breakfast? Were you ever up to watch it?
Initially, no. Latterly, yes.
Okay, yeah. I caught it every now and again. I was really up to watch this, though. And if I was up this early, I was usually in a rush to get out of the house, go to work.
No, I never saw the early iterations of, like, if you've got here Chris Evans and Gabby Roslin. They weren't my Big Breakfast. The Big Breakfast for me was Denise Van Outen and Johnny Vaughan.
Absolutely.
They were the Big Breakfast for me. And then when I was
trying to remember who it was. Yeah.
I mean, it's had loads of presenters. Zoe Ball presented it at one point, and there's been quite a few over the time of it. But for me personally, Denise Van Outen and Johnny Vaughan were the kind of ones that really brought it to my attention because they were just really funny in it. Stupid things like when they did Scrambled Eggs, which was like game show where they just had them people jump dancing backwards and forwards dressed as eggs, which would always appeal to me.
Of course, they could do anything dressed as eggs.
It was that mental chicken oriental, and they used to read. Johnny Vaughan used to read the newspapers, didn't he? And he had a style. He had a way about him, Johnny Vaughan, at that time.
Yeah. He's funny on. I listen now to Radio X. He does stuff on there. Johnny Vaughan is still a DJ on there. His Saturday stuff. He's still very funny.
He's a funny guy. He was a funny guy.
He is good for Johnny Vaughan. But obviously, this was Chris Evans starting this, and I guess this launched Chris Evans onto the world for TFI Friday and stuff, didn't it?
Because he went on from that to do that. Don't forget your toothbrush, and then from there it was whatever it was called, and the other one, So it definitely launched him. And he's still going, isn't he?
He's DJing somewhere probably right now.
You can't stop him.
29th September, there was Space Vets.
No.
39 episode children's sci-fi show about a motley crew of misfit intergalactic space vets.
I mean, the Muppets had already done it. Well, the Muppets had already done it. They've done pigs in space, haven't they?
Oh, that is true. But they weren't vets. They were animals. They were in search of
They were vets. It was pigs in space. No, they did Veterinarian Hospital, didn't they, on the Muppets? Veterinarian Hospital, the story of a dog that's gone. Veterinarian. Yeah, so the Muppets had already done it.
But space vets. I don't know. Finally, 29th September, there was Funny Bones.
No.
All right, let's get to the films. 4th of September. 4th of September, White Sands.
No.
Willem Dafoe, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, Mickey Rourke, kind of a neo-noir thing, I think.
I'm never a fan of Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. I don't think she's a very good actress. I mean, she's crapping everything I can think of that she's been in. She was in Robin Hood most recently there, wasn't she? Made Marion in the recent Robin Hood.
Yeah.
But she's also in what's the one with Pacino in Say Hello to My Little Friend. She's in that.
Heat? No,
not Heat.
What am I thinking of? Say Hello to My Little Friend.
The De Palma movie. What's it called?
Scarface.
She's in Scarface. She plays his sister. I think she plays his sister or the other guy's sister. She's in that.
Is she?
Not really. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, she's in that. She's also in The Abyss as well. She's all right in that, I suppose.
Yeah. I always get her mixed up with because there was a lot of Marys around at this point. Or we were beginning with them. There was her in 12 Monkeys.
Yeah. What's her name?
I don't know.
We are rubbish, aren't we? Yeah, it does.
There was Marissa Tomei. She was about. There's lots of M's around this time.
What's her name? Because she's in Last of the Mohicans, isn't she, as well? That same actress.
Yeah. I know Gary will be shouting at us right now.
He is shouting at us.
He'll be spitting out his curry all down his top. And then walking out the restaurant.
Out of wherever he is. He'll stormed out, complain about the adverts and left.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing. You're in your living room, Gary. He just walked into the garden.
Because she's in the new series It as well. She's in the recent It series.
She is. It's
torturing me out. I've got to find out who that is.
Oh, you go look that up then. I'll talk about these next few films because I don't think you'll have much to say about them. There was also a film Straight Out of Brooklyn. Never heard of it. Young man living in poverty plans to rob a drug dealer and change the life of his family. That never ends well.
No, it does not.
There was The Power of One. An English boy living in Africa during World War II, through his boxing prowess, becomes a symbol of hope in a time of war. Far too many commas in that sentence, whoever wrote that.
Way too many.
It starred a young Stephen Dorff. I've never heard of it.
No, not heard of it, I'm afraid. Madeleine Stowe. See, another M. Lots of M's. Yeah, it is another M. Yeah, Madeleine
There's
Stowe.
Lots of M's. There was Night Moves.
I remember it. I never watched it, though.
Grandmaster Peter is suspected of murdering Debbie after sex. He helps the police as the murders continue. Christophe Lambert.
Oh, no. The man that sounds like a cheese.
I do remember this. I thought it was okay. It's just formulaic for the time, and that's about it. It's just one of them. You know exactly what to expect going into this.
Exactly, and it's a man that sounds like a cheese. I'm just going to have some crackers and some of that lovely Christophe Lambert, or a wine, maybe.
Absolutely. A nice glass of Chardonnay. A nice
Spreadable Lambert. Spreadable Lambert. I don't think I want that. Thanks.
No one wants that.
Nasty.
He'll do that.
Right.
He'll do that laugh for Mortal Kombat at you.
Oh, no. He'll do that winky scrunch face that he does you dirty cheese.
Absolutely. I'll muck up your cracker.
Hey, no. Put you off cheese for life, that.
It could do. There's also a film called Bush Pilots. Two enterprising young fly girls give their clients a very special kind of service, whether they're in the clouds or in the sack. That's the tagline from IMDb. But the tagline for this is they give the word cockpit a whole new meaning.
Oh, goodness me. You know what? Thank God they don't make films like that anymore.
Yeah. I was wondering what Bush Pilots was all about, and then I got the pun title after reading that as well.
You just know there's going to be a load of sequels to that. Bush Pilots 2, The Deeper Bush, Bush Pilots 3, you know... The dark shaving, I don't know. There'll be loads of them. Straight to rental. You know, loads of drunk lads coming in after the pub and late night blockbuster.
Bush Pilots 4, Raise the Flaps.
Oh, hey. God, what is it with you today? Dirty Lambert cheese and flap raising.
I'm sorry about that one. I'm very sorry.
Goodness me.
You can cut that if you want, but no, leave it in. That's what they said
anything,
in Bush
young
Pilots.
man.
That's what they said in Bush Pilots, leave it in.
Exactly that. We don't need to cut anything out. Gary will let us know because he'll get up from wherever he is, storm out and tell somebody that the adverts are rubbish. And he's just done that right now. God's sakes.
11th September. He's just shit a pee. 11th September, Immaculate Conception.
No.
A childless Western couple visit a fertility shrine in Karachi run by eunuchs and set off a huge culture clash. It sounds like far too many things going on there. Yeah,
that sounds like a Whitgift movie and one that I didn't go and see.
Unlike this one, Lovers on the Bridge, also known as Les Amants de Pont-Neuf, which you did go. Alex, who's homeless and addicted to alcohol, and Michelle, who's losing her sight, form a relationship while sleeping rough on Paris's Pont-Neuf Bridge. I saw this at Whitgift.
Right. Okay.
I was forced to go by my girlfriend at the time. I was very bored.
Doesn't Pont-Neuf mean Bridge 9?
Quite possibly. I don't know.
I think I've seen it. Is it
the ninth bridge over the Seine through Paris or something? Is it that?
I wouldn't know, but I think I've probably seen it because everyone goes on a voyage, if you will, of French movies at a certain point. Really, I was probably looking for tits when I was watching them. Didn't get a lot in that, I don't remember, so I probably didn't enjoy it. Teenager was at the time. So.
Yeah, I was a bit bored of this. I mean, I might appreciate it more now, a bit older, a bit wiser, and a bit more
booby.
I probably would. I probably wouldn't know, if I'm being honest.
No, you won't. You just, it's like those other films where, you can judge your film by how many times you see it on students' wall as a poster. And I saw that a few times. I'm like, ooh, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, true. If you didn't fancy that, there was Bob Roberts, Tim Robbins.
Of it, yeah.
Yeah, political satire type thing. I think it was okay at the time. I think I watched it. I think it was all right.
There's better satires that came out later than that one. It's good, but it's not as good as stuff like Wag the Dog and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. There was House Sitter. This was Steve Martin, Goldie Hawn comedy about where she moves in and tricks him to be her wife. So it's supposed to be a comedy, but we're still in weak Steve Martin period.
Rubbish that is, and it probably was actually meant for somebody else. And because Goldie Hawn famously is now married, or not married actually, it's been in a long-term Hollywood relationship with Kurt Russell, isn't she? So
yeah,
I imagine that was probably would have been fodder for Kurt Russell back at the time. So.
Quite possibly. There was also Christopher Columbus, The Discovery. You wait for 500 years for a Columbus movie and two come along at once.
That was a bit of a cop-out. That happened a lot back then, didn't it? So, you get the sort of nearly brand version, as it were. And then
because there was this in 1492, wasn't there, was the other big one.
Yeah, which was, thing is, wasn't it? It was, oh God, today, what is going on today? What have I drank today that's erased my brain? It's Ridley Scott's version, isn't it? So the other one. This one ain't Ridley Scott. This is Tiddly Scott. Still, it's non-union equivalent.
Tiddly Scott. Hey, I remember this supposedly being the lesser of the two Christopher Columbus films, but I don't think I particularly liked either of them.
No, the other one had a better soundtrack because it had a Vangelis soundtrack, didn't it? I think this one didn't.
Yeah. 18th of September.
Nearly brand version of Vangelis.
Bob Gellis.
I am Von Gullis. I will do your synthesizer for you for half the price of Vangelis.
Surely it's Cargellis.
Yeah, he's in different vehicles. Yeah, Cargellis.
Yeah.
Honestly. It's such a
Truck
cheap pun.
Gellis.
Oh, stop immediately. Bloody hell, what's going on?
I don't know. But
Gary can't walk out of any more spaces. He's literally in an open field now.
He still walk out of it, moaning at the sheep. I don't like these adverts.
The adverts. Too many bloody adverts. I'm leaving.
What's up with him?
Wow, Mavis, you can talk.
He said he didn't like the adverts. Bah.
Well, you do put too many in, Pete. And scene.
Whoever that was. 18th of September, there was Unforgiven.
Yes.
Classic.
Yes.
Classic film.
A great
anti-Western.
film. So I watched it long ago as well. It's genuinely brilliant, that film. It's really brutal as well, but really good.
Yeah. So Clint Eastwood sort of will money reluctantly takes on one last job to avenge an injustice to help his old partner and a young would-be gunman calling himself the Schofield Kid. It's just such a good, brutal film. Gene Hackman in it.
Yep.
It's just, it's basically just turning the Western, the beautiful Western on its head and showing one of the first films to kind of not be a sort of classic Western, but become a classic Western, if that makes sense. I guess
I think it was because it was Eastwood, wasn't it? And everyone associated him with, a particular kind of Western. And then this came along and it completely, undermined all of that. And it set a tone because quite a lot of films came out after this that sort of followed the similar path, didn't they? There was a few that came out after that.
Yeah. And you'd lead to sort of TV shows like Deadwood and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it set a pace.
Yeah, so it's kind of reimagined the West as sort of a more realistic, brutal, harsh place, which is, rather than the schmaltzy, day-glow versions we'd had before,
Yeah, just real brutally stuff. And Clint Eastwood's amazing in that. And I think it's probably one of the last great Clint Eastwood movies as well. To this point, he did a few in the 90s, but that was, I think, one of the last great ones he did.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I've done some good stuff recently. I like Gran Torino and stuff like that. But
yeah, say they're good, but I just wonder if that's, because he's sort of known for Westerns, isn't he? So I wonder if it's the last great Western maybe that he did, really.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you everything he's done since then, but I do like The Unforgiven. It is, and it's still, like you said, watching it again now, it still stands up.
It's brilliant. Yeah, stands up. Really good.
Didn't fancy that. There was A League of Their Own.
No, never watched it.
Spoke of this a little bit because it was the Madonna song.
Yes, that's right.
Recently. It's probably decent. There's Tom Hanks, Gina Davis. But I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it, so I can't comment. If you didn't fancy that, there was Patriot Games.
Yeah, there was indeed Patriot Games.
Tom Clancy's Patriot Games, directed by Philip Noyce. Second one with Harrison Ford in it. Basically, Indiana Jones versus the IRA in it. I reckon that was how it was pitched somewhere.
Somewhere along the line. Yeah, because it's playing a Jack Ryan character, isn't he? So
yeah, it's Jack Ryan and the Sean Bean. Yeah, Sean Bean, Patrick Reagan. They're all part of the IRA after him, I think. It's not as good as Hunt for Red October.
No,
I don't think. And then he did. Because he changed it, because the original, it was Alec Baldwin, wasn't it, in Hunt for Red October?
Yeah.
So this was the first, let's get Harrison Ford in, it'll be better. But the story's not as good. And then after this, he did Clear and Present Danger. That wasn't particularly good either.
No, it was not.
No. If you didn't fancy that, then you could have gone seen Secret Friends. A middle-aged illustrator's anxiety attack sparks an identity crisis, blending marital troubles with sexual fantasies.
Okay, weird.
I don't know. Yeah. 25th September, there was Encino Man.
I thought that was crap at the time.
Yeah, it's Brendan Fraser in it. It's basically, he gets. There was another one like this, wasn't there? Because it's basically a caveman gets defrosted, isn't it?
California Man was the other one.
That's this in it, though. I think that's actually this under a different name.
Oh, is it? I thought that was that's what I mean. I thought there was another one. I thought it was California Man, but same thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I'm thinking of, actually. There was also Swoon. It sounds really bleak. True story of gay lovers Richard Loeb and Nathan Leopold Jr., who kidnapped and murdered a child in the early 1920s for kicks. The plot covers the months before the crime, the investigation, trial, and final fate of the two men.
Chirpy.
Yeah, that sounds bleak, doesn't it? Christ. And finally, there was Just Like a Woman. I've never heard of it.
No, not heard of that one.
No. So there you go. Lots of films. Unforgiven's the standout there, isn't it? I mean, pretty
without
much.
a doubt.
If you're going to watch something from that month, then go watch Unforgiven because it still stands up. It's still great. A lot of the rest, never heard of, never seen. There we go. That's your TV and that's your film from September 1992. We're going to go away, take a quick break. We still have 3 more games to get through. Games not covered.
We do.
And guess what, Graham? There's a surprise at the back end. I'll let you see what that is when we get to it. We'll see you in a moment.
The novel Escape from the Commodore 64 by David Hearn is out now. Growing up in the 80s is a chore for Sarah, who feels misunderstood by her parents and badgered by Reese, her bothersome brother who incessantly prattles on about his treasured computer games. When Reese tells her one of the games tried to pull him inside the computer, she laughs off his fanciful fib. She waggles the joystick to disprove his fairy tale and is pulled into the computer. Now trapped in games she'd never had any interest in playing, how can she possibly beat them? With the help of feisty Nell, another trapped player, can Sarah find her way back home, or is it game over? An evil madman, a hostile planet, bloodthirsty robots, a never-ending throng of karate experts, and relentless digital soldiers will do their best to ensure Sarah never escapes. Available from Amazon and all good online retailers, find out if there's a way out of the beige bread bin of betrayal for Sarah in Escape from the Commodore 64.
And we're back. We are back to round off September 1992. Graham, it's over to you for our next game to tell us all about Bionic Ninja.
This got 82%. I'll let that sink in.
What did Cool Croc Twins get?
Not far off the same. This is just
87.
Anyway, so was in a compilation. I'll talk about that in a sec. But this was published by Zeppelin. It was developed by Shock Developments. You ain't wrong. The coder, if you can call it that, but the coder here was Robert Toon. Now, he did Bounder, Bulldog, and Future Night, and you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
That's scary sound. And the graphics were by Simon Phipps. He did Rick Dangerous. Crazy. Title screen also, Simon Phipps. He did Rick Dangerous. Kind of crazy. And a few others.
Ooh.
Now, there is no sound in this, so there's no sound credits. Stupid. I found a blurb, and it's short and sweet, so thankfully. Bionic Ninja is an awesome game where the baddies really get what's coming to them. That's not how you start off the introduction to anything.
Did it really say that?
That really says that.
Someone wrote that.
Yep. A ruthlessly efficient fighting machine is formed when the Oriental disciplines of the East, who wrote this rubbish, are installed into a killer android. Armed with a killer punch, Death Stars, and samurai swords, your side has the chance of smashing the meanies to bits. And scene. And it says, mission briefing follows. Icarus Earth Defense Base is under attack. Estimated time to total occupation, 1.5 hours. Deploying Ninja Bot 1. You're going to be disappointed if you called that. Isn't Ninja Bot a kind of kitchen appliance nowadays? Anyway, deploying Ninja Bot 1 to infiltrate base and eradicate alien infestation. All units are declared expendable. They're always expendable, aren't they? Damn it, you've got to look after the Ninja Bots. Anyway, that's all you get. It says projected attack route, jungle terrain, cavern entrance, armory, control center. You remember them? That's like the 4 places you can buy sofas from in the 80s, isn't it? Buy your new sofas from jungle terrain, cavern entrance, armory, or control center. Like Brigthorpe, Arch and Hull, innit? Anyway, so that's apart from being the alternative place. Now, controls, Adrian, let me just explain to you. You need to know. So if you press up, you get a high kick. If you press up and left, you get a high kick left. Press up and right, you get a high kick right. And if you move left or right, you go left and right. If you go down and left, you get a low kick left. If you go down and right, you get a low kick right. And if you get down, duck. Up and fire is jump up to the top level. Down and fire is jump down to the bottom level. And then there are control keys. Space on the keyboard changes your desired weapon. Q is up, Z is down, N is fire, and so on and so forth, if you want to control it with the keys. Okay, so this is one of 4 games in Zeppelin's Combat Pack 3 compilation. Ooh. It's sat alongside such value hoovers as Kickbox Vigilante and Spaghetti Western. Yee. But there was Ninja Commando on it, so at least 25% of the games were passable. That's all you can say, really.
That's true.
Put that on the box, I say. At least 1 out of 4 of these games isn't crap.
Yeah, you've got to just choose which one, you know.
Yeah, that's the roulette. It's Russian roulette, isn't it, that? Ugh. This is one dreary run and gun, this. Clearly rushed or released unfinished. So, no, that ain't good, is it?
Nope.
It's kind of been shoved, I think, onto this compilation for what can only be shits and giggles. I mean, pulled together from the guy that did Future Night, probably over a couple of evenings, you know, and I don't think he really finished it. You can tell he's got his hand in it because the title screen is arguably the same as Future Night with the kind of wobbling writing on it, which is what Future Night looked like, if you remember.
Yeah.
And it has a kind of Future Night-y look to it. I mean, not quite as rounded and doughy, but it's still got that kind of look. That's not to say it's totally bad in its looks. The graphics are okay for what they are. And you certainly do run and punch and throw and whack. I'll say that. Like some weird version of rock, paper, scissors, isn't it, that? Run, what do you call it? Punch, throw and whack. I'm not sure how to play that variation. The aim here is to run like the wind. Yeah, I'm not sure. Now, nothing beats anything here. The aim of the game is to run like the wind, Adrian. Run, Forrest, run. From left to right, jumping, hitting, and running. So you'll start the game once you've slid past the silent title screen. You'll be wondering at this point if the game has crashed or if you've gone deaf. Neither of those things is true, thankfully. It's just this game is silent. I mean, why bother with music and sound anyway? Well, sound effects, why bother with that? It's only the mainstay of most games since the dawn of gaming, one way or another. Why do you need that? They just get in the way, don't they? Create an atmosphere and give an experience and tangible audio qualities to stupid idiots. What do you want sound in it for anyway? Bah to sound. Who needs its sound anyway? And so you silently run and gun across the very bland coloured environments. Jungle, cavern, armory, control centre, a.k.a. corridors of such, really, for those. The UI's at the bottom. A bit of a scatter shit, I thought. Kind of an afterthought, has to be said. Score, power. I'm not sure if that displayed anything anyway. Your 3 icons that indicate punch, throw, or stab. The level timer for reasons, and your lives. Above is where the silent action takes place. There are 2 kinds of platforms, or levels on screen, if you like. Run along the bottom, or run up to the middle and run along there. A bit like a crap Rolling Thunder, or Green Beret. Not fair to compare those to this, though. So just focus on the idea that you can run at 2 levels. This means the scrolling environments are designed for you to run, meet impasses, jump up, run more, drop down. You get the idea. Encounter enemies, and a mixed bag of medium-res quality street it really is for them. And you'll either bash them or they'll bash you and take away your power, I think. Or at least eventually you'll die. Then you'll respawn and run. Run like the wind. The silent wind is what you'll do. So aside from a smidge of decent graphics here and there, it's a silent and thankless affair. I remain unsure why you are a Bionic Ninja. You appear to be more like a silver motorbiker or welder. Is that what a Bionic Ninja is? Or a ninja bot, should I say? One would assume that such a bionic persona would be noisy and heavy and thumpy, but one's clearly made of pipe cleaners and tinfoil in this. Either way, running in silence is boring, and the game just gives you no reason to want to continue. There is little here. The controls are okay, if you like that running thing, but you don't really do a lot. You change weapon with the press of the spacebar, which, no pun intended, was hit or miss. Not that it makes any difference, to be honest. Punch, throwing star, sword, it's all the same anyway. There's nothing much to go at here. It's very boring, very silent, and clearly was not finished. That's why it's on this compilation. I thought this was rubbish, and I cannot get my head round a score of 82% for that, when the Cool Croc Twins only got 87. It's just, it's unbelievable. This deserves maybe 20 or 30%. Actually, let's give it 25%. It's part of a compilation of 4 games. It's crap. 25%, just because it's there. It's rubbish. I thought it was rubbish, this game. It had nothing. What about you?
Yeah. You could at least tape over it with some songs.
I suppose you could do that. Yeah, you could put the tape over it and get rid of it,
Yeah. So my first question as I wrote my review is this finished? Is it?
Yeah,
is this
clearly
finished?
not.
I'm not sure it is. A weird and annoying title screen. I did like the loading screen. See it on it's the Bionic Ninja looks like he's contemplating his electric sword. It is quite a good loading screen, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
The only good thing about this.
The only good thing.
It's the single good thing. It's a weird and annoying title screen. Does not prepare you for the utterly banal run and punch thing that this is. Blurry, medium-res sprites abound in this oh-so-silent world. Oh, so silent.
Why?
Seriously, why is there no sound? I don't know. It's dead weird when we get these without sound. I mean, there's not much to say about this, really, is there? You run along at stupid speed. Stupid. It's so fast. It's ridiculous. Enemies wander on. You eventually die. You turn it off. I mean, that's it. There's nothing to do here. The most surprising thing about this, as you write, it comes from Robert Toon. Designed Bounder. He designed Bounder.
Yep.
I mean, Bounder's brilliant.
Like I said, they've obviously... he's credited for this, but I think this was just something that he'd probably done. Not finished. It was probably more of a little mini concept. It got to that point and then they've just released it because it's stick it on a compilation. No one's going to care. It's only costing you £1, so... Yeah,
true. He also did something called... it's 1989 this originally came out. I don't know. How do you design Bounder? He's got a great head for design, just not for coding. I don't know. I looked at another game he coded called Prince Clumsy. I had a game of that, which is another one on his list of... No, it was just listed on Lemon as another one he did. It's a Ghosts and Goblins knockoff. At least it had sound. It wasn't particularly great, though. It had that same kind of look to it, that gremlin sprite look. But it's a bit better than this, but I don't know what happened here. I don't know why this was considered fit for release at any point. I don't get it. It's just, it's not finished. It's not a good thing, this. Not a good thing. 82% is a joke. I think 25% is a joke because there's no game here.
No, you're right. It's not worth it.
So, no. You would tape over this. You tape over this with Like a Prayer. Why not?
You would.
Just put some Madonna on it.
You'd load it once and that'd be the end of that, wouldn't it? You'd just be playing the Ninja Commando game.
Yeah, you would, because that was all right. Not the others. There you go. Bionic Ninja. You can't call your game Bionic Ninja and be shit.
No, it's neither Bionic nor very ninja-y.
No, it's not. It's just run along and speed.
Well,
and
just
hit
because somebody has a samurai sword, or should I say, just because you give them samurai sword and shuriken stars, doesn't make them a ninja. And that's not what ninjas are. They're not just owners of, Oriental weaponry. It's trained martial artists, or at least, allegedly. They're probably actually just people that can hide a lot, in plain sight.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, that was rubbish, Bionic Ninja. Dreadful thing. Let's move on to our next one. And that one is the oddly titled 1000 Miglia, Volume 1, 1927 to 1933.
Okay,
10.95, 72% it got. Okay, another week, another full price release from Simulmondo. Remember them? Remember them from last time? They did, last time we saw them we did the Big Game Fishing, but they also did The Murderers, didn't they? What's his face? Dylan Dog. But this time we're going back in time to the golden age, Graham, the golden age of motor racing. Sounds fancy. 1000 Miglia, Volume 1, 19. That's a fancy name, isn't it? The big, long, fancy name.
It is. Very famous race, isn't it?
Yeah, and indeed it was. The producer here is Francesco Carla, code by Pietro Pino, graphics are by Ivan Venturi, and the music here is by Stefano Palminari. And we've seen stuff from this lot before to varying degrees of quality. Big Game Fishing, I Play 3D Soccer, and Dylan Dog, The Murderers. So, bit of pedigree, along with loads of other stuff that never made it into the pages of Zap. So if, like me, you're wondering what the hell this Miglia stuff is, then let me educate you with this from the manual. Okay. March 26th, 1927. The starting gun is about to signal the drivers to begin a brand new race, an automobile race, which was so enormously difficult to set up that its creators honestly believed that this race would be the first and last of its kind, the 1000 Miglia. New regulations issued by the International Federation of Racing reducing engine capacity in terms of cubic centimetres had caused Italian automobile companies, who were manufacturing cars with much greater potentials, to withdraw from competitive racing. In December 1926, four friends, 3 car racing enthusiasts and a reporter from the Sports Gazette got together to see what they could dream up in order to save the sport from certain death. Aimo Maggi, Franco Mazzotti, Renzo Castineto, and Giovanni Canastrini came up with the idea of a wild round-trip excursion from Brescia to Rome and back to Brescia again. The round trip totaled 1,600 kilometres, or 1,000 miles. And so Franco Mazzotti thought of calling the race the 1,000 Mile Cup, later shortened to 1,000 Miglia. The race was such a great success. I don't know if I'm supposed to pronounce that right, Miglia. I don't know how we pronounce it. The race was such a great success that it was decided to repeat it once a year, and it was, except during World War II, until the late 1950s. It immediately gained fame and notoriety in Italy and over the years throughout the entire world. Within no time, the 1,000 Miglia had become a tradition involving thousands of people everywhere. First drivers to participate in the race looked and acted more like the transatlantic airline pilots of the day than like automobile racers. They were the pioneers of road racing, where the difficulties and hazards of unpaved streets replete with rocks, dust and mud when it rained had to be faced and overcome in regular, everyday assembly line cars. Once out of Brescia, each team had to face its own destiny. The participants were tried physically and tested as to their mechanical skill. Many consider the 1,000 Miglia determinant in the future technical advances which were to take place in the automobile industry. Any breakdown which occurred during the race from a flat to a mechanical problem had to be seen to by the racers. There were always 2 persons to a car. One was usually a better driver, the other a more skillful mechanic. This meant they had to be good at improvising repairs on the spot and quite versed in how cars were built and how they ran. All of this has bestowed the 1,000 Miglia with something wonderful and magical, completely out of touch with the technological and consumer-oriented environments in which modern-day automobile competitions are raced. Money was not the driving force to make people want to participate. Each person's innate spirit of adventure was. The desire to try oneself against one's own limits and not against an opponent made these drivers go beyond history to become legends. Brilli Peri, Nuvolari, Borsacchini, Faglioli, and others who raced. There you go. That's the history here.
Cool.
So it's a celebration of those races around Italy, taking in over 1,000 miles, which is some distance. That's some distance to drive. Way. The game then starts, it starts off well. And, Simulmondo games do have a propensity for some decent presentation, and this is no different. From the initial very nice animated logo, the spinning globe and the decent music, we get a shot of a driver on the side and the car of the time. His scarf streaming out behind him. In the background, we get some nice parallax scrolling countryside, mountains and sky. There's credits above this. Before we cut to a still shot of racers, like in black and white, of racers going around a corner in those kind of old-style cars. And there's a close-up of a driver in the top left with an animated evil grin. It's a really nice start to the game, and it just promised good things. Once you've enjoyed this, pressing fire loads in the options. A lot loading for this game. And from here, we can load a saved game, select from real racers of the time, or create our own pair of racers for the ordeal ahead. All of this is controlled with a pointer that you move around with a joystick. Not the best way to control it, but it's okay. It's okay. You can do it. Be careful if you choose to create your own drivers or select the other one. There's no way to back out. So you have to, if you're creating your own drivers, you can't back out to the main menu to then select some. Yeah, so you're going in if you're creating your own ones. If you do choose to create your own drivers, you can name them both, give them a balance of stats between skill, which is your driving skill, reses, which is resistance, I think, which is your stamina basically, and mech, which is your mechanical ability. So, you've got to balance those out between the two drivers. So you want someone who's both decent stamina, but someone who's good driver and someone who's good mechanic, sort of thing. Remember, you need a good driver and good mechanic. You also need stamina because this is a long race. And your stamina goes down as you drive, so you need to choose these carefully. You also get to choose your car. There are 5 on offer. I'm not going to go through those, but there's 5 different types of cars, each with all the stats you could desire and a nice graphic showing the car itself as well. It's all easy navigated. Yeah, it's a pointer, but it works pretty well. But if you want, you can also just choose existing races. These are all listed in order, have their stats already done, and you can just pick whoever you want. They've got sort of different stats, and if you know them, you can choose them. I didn't have a clue who anyone was, but there you go. And then you choose which car you race it. Once you've made your choices, you continue on to the next part. Here you can choose select spare parts for the journey, and you probably need them as your car will need fixing, new tyres, fuels, spark plugs, all these kind of things. There are about 10 to choose from. You can only take 6 items though. You can take 4 tyres if you want, but then you can only choose 2 of the others. So you've got to be careful. You've got a bit of choice to sort of think about what's going to break, what's going to go wrong on this journey. Once you've loaded up on these, it's time to start the race. There's some loading here as you wait, and once done, we get the information for this leg of the race. The race is raced, different legs, so it's like a big rally. So it's kind of like a modern day rally race, really. This is kind of what it felt like. And at this point, you get info on where you are going, a description of the road, the length of this leg, the ground type, and the weather. Can't do anything though. It's just info. You can't change anything to the car because it's just it's just a car in 1927. Once you're happy that you've sort of looked at the screen, you select continue, you see a map of the course, your current leg in white, press fire, and after some loading, it starts the race. And this is where things take a bit of a downturn, I'm afraid. If we consider what we've seen recently in the racing games on the machine, right? Turbocharge, Turbo Outrun, Outrun Europa, Power Drift, Chase HQ2, Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge, even Buggy Boy, which was a while back. The bar has been raised quite high, even going back to Pit Stop 2 and things like that. We've seen some very good racing games on the system, and this falls well below them from a visual standpoint. So the screen is split into 2 halves. The bottom is taken up by your dashboard, sort of an old-styley dashboard, and it just takes up the bottom half of the screen. Got your dials for speed, revs, and the heat of your engine, I think. And on the right is your present gear. This would not be so bad if it was first person, and I'd quite accept it if it was, if it had a bit of a steering wheel and you drove from that view, but it's not. The top half of the screen is your usual behind-the-car racing view. Your car is quite blocky and indistinct. It's not very well drawn. It's just a bit chunky and it could have been better. The brown road stretches out in front of you with some blue and green mountains in the background, blue sky, that kind of thing. Beside the roads, a lot of small objects. They were very, very busy at putting small objects beside the roads in 1927 Italy.
They really were.
There's just loads and loads of them. Controls are simple enough. Up for accelerate, down for brake, left and right to turn. Up and fire changes gear, up and down. Up and fire changes gear up. Down and fire changes it down. Now, while you're racing, you can press space bar at any point. This brings up the map to see where you are in the leg. And from here, you can also swap drivers if the one driving has or is close to running out of stamina to allow them to recover. If you run out of stamina, supposedly it affects your skill at driving. And I think I did notice that it was when I had a higher skill level, it was easier to corner and stuff. So I do think those stats actually do have an impact. Not terribly, but there is a little bit there. So, at this point, it's just a standard driving game. There are hills to go up and down. When you go up, you get a bit faster. There's a bit of a raster bar effect at the top of the sky. And that, a bit of a nice visual effect, I guess. Blocky cars that will only come at once will pass you or slowly come towards you, and you can try and drive around them. It's very standard, very, very sort of mid-80s. There's not much here to scream 1992 driving game, really. And after a while, there's a really high whine of the engine noise that will hurt your ears. Like quite annoying. What else is there? Like I said, you can press space. And actually pressing space, there's some nice touches to this. When you do press space, it kind of stops and it sort of scrolls across. The sort of bonnet scrolls across at the bottom, and like you get all the stats sort of appear at the top, and you like moves across to you holding the map in your little hands glove. And it's really well drawn, these bits. The dashboard's really well drawn. It's just the actual racing, and at the top, all those stats appear for the drivers, and you see how they're doing, how far you've gone, etc., and all that kind of stuff. And that's nice. Pressing space takes you back to the driving. It sort of scrolls back across, and you get going. Things happen as you go. You'll get into accidents if you sort of careen off the track, or things will just break. I had my steering lock up several times, and if you've got a better mechanic, it takes less time to fix it, and this does make an impact. Because the first time I did it, I had a crap mechanic, and it was taking like nearly an hour to fix it. Second time I went through it, I had a much better one. It was only taking like half an hour, so that does impact on the amount of time you've taken. But other things go wrong with the car. I had a punctured tire at one point. We had to fix that. So, there is none of that. You don't do anything. You just get a screen going, oh, this is broken. It's going to take 27 minutes to press fire. You're back in the race. You just lost that time. The weird thing is there's no timer anywhere that I could see or note. So I didn't see a clock anywhere. If, however, you do write the car off, if it's terminal, you get a nice game over screen with a close-up of the light at the front of the car and it says game over. Again, those still screens, the presentation stuff, everything wrapped around this, good. If when something does go wrong, your car just crawls to a halt, you get stuck in gear, and you get, like I said, you get some text telling you what it is. When you do get to the end of a stage, it just sort of stops. You get some more loading, and then the next stage with the leg details, and you're off again. It just repeats. It says you can load again, but there didn't seem to be any way to save in the race itself. So I think you've got to do the whole thing in one go. It takes a while. And only then can you save it. That's a bit of an ask. But that's I couldn't see any way to save it. And, it just seems to take ages. And really when the next stage starts, they're all the same. Very familiar, more the same graphics, bit of a different coloured sky, maybe different mountains in the background, but it looks exactly the same trackside objects going past. It's hard to get excited about this. Everything around the driving part is great, like the intro, setting up the team, the course info, the dashboard, pulling up the map, all great. The driving's really boring and unengaging. I mean, I thought, you're trying to sort of drive a 1927 car. You'd be fighting that machine. Here you just, there's nothing to it. The instructions go on and on about how this race was a real test of man and machine versus nature, pushing the drivers to their limits. There's none of that here. And even the visuals are not particularly compelling case to keep going. There's just more of the same, leg after leg after leg. It's needed more incident, more drama. When something goes wrong, you need to feel it. You need to be part of fixing it. We've been fixing tyres and putting fuel in and stuff like that since pit stop even. There needs to be more things on the road. It needed to feel like 1927 Italy with rugged roads and flying by the seat of your pants in these old cars. But again, it does nothing to convey that. And I'm not sure the C64 really is the machine to do it. It's not going to get things like Sega Rally in the arcades, Colin McRae on the consoles, that this kind of thing gets done well, these kind of rally stage, because it is essentially a rally game, but it just doesn't feel like one. So whilst I applaud the ambition here, and I really do like the presentation, the actual game itself, the driving, just does nothing to inspire any kind of like enjoyment or fun or desire to actually want to see this thing through to the end. And it's a bit of a shame, because if they'd have wrapped a decent car game here, a racing game, we might have had a bit of a interesting thing, but unfortunately that racing is really dull and there's no sense of actual racing in it. So no, I didn't enjoy playing this. What about you?
Well, same deal. All the wrappings were nice, graphics are nice until you get to the game, and then it's downhill immediately. It was too easy. The scaling was off when it said the car was massive and the side details were all too small, and just rapid fire, same thing, tiny little houses, weirdly shaped trees, blocky as well. And I could forgive all that if the game actually had a bit of tangibility about it. But, I was just aimlessly driving down a long brown road. It's not my favourite thing to do.
No.
So, and like I said, I think you summed it up perfectly. Had this lived up to its everything else that was in it, it would have been quite formidable, but it doesn't. When you get to the game, it's like, oh dear, really? No, we've had better than this by miles of this kind of thing. So it's like playing Ace of Aces and then getting to the aeroplane flying part and it being crap. I mean, that didn't happen with Ace of Aces. So it's just a bit of a letdown. And it's such a shame because obviously a lot of effort's gone into all the other stuff as well. And it's actually a very prestigious and important and historical race as well. It's quite a big deal, well, not one everyone's heard of, but it's quite famous and one of the older ones. And I like the idea of the different older cars and all of that stuff was great. The idea of it's good, the graphics around it good until you get to the game. And then it's all a bit of a mess at that point and not very well put together. And it is a shame. And by the time I don't know how many thousands of miles I'd gone, but I had a headache from the engine noise. It's only got 4 gears, so the car was like, yeah. I was like, oh, that's enough for me. And it just felt like at one point, I didn't actually have to do much. I was just pushing forward on the joystick and going really fast. And it just, some of these sections of track were just straight long roads for what felt like 1,000,000 miles. It was just, there was nothing on them, wasn't overtaking anything. Occasionally some kind of dark splat on the road menaced me a little, but I just avoided it. And then suddenly there'd be a corner that was easy and then back on the straight again. I'm like, oh, no. This was not what I expected at the end of all of that graphics. I was thinking this could be something really good here. No. It's a pity, but sorry, but it wasn't very good. And it didn't deserve 72% either. So no. No, it didn't. No. There you go. Especially, I mean, it's full price as well, isn't it? It's, it's 11 quid. It's just not. The game itself is poor. And that's the problem. You're better off playing the American Road Race game. You're better off playing that. Great American Cross Country Road Race. Yeah. Similar sort of deal, isn't it? Yeah. In fact, I did. Yeah. I did actually go back and have a crack at that. Which is better. More fun. There we go. That's 1000 Miglia, Volume 1, whatever it is. Not very good. Let's move on. We've still got one game left for September 1992. And Graham, as you so ably put last week, it's you to tell us about Narco Police. Yeah, that soundtrack is sort of fitting. This was $3.99, okay, but it was 80%. This is by Dynamic. Seen them before. Graphics here are by Ignacio Ruiz Tejedor. He did After the War and Satan. And the music here is Charles Deenan. So Charles Deenan, he did Zamzara and Battle Valley. He's one of the Maniacs of Noise. So okay, and you can kind of tell. And the box art was Louis Royo. He did Navy moves. Can't you tell? Because if you look at the boxes, they're kind of similar. They're very, very similar. So this is one of those 16-bit to 8-bit conversions, isn't it? That somebody probably thought was a good idea on paper. That was toilet paper that they had that idea on. And it probably should have stayed on paper as well. From the get-go, though, as interesting as the opening sequence is, it's clear that this is half-assed, digitized 16-bit stuff on the C64. Even as that helicopter rises on the opening loading screen, you'll immediately go, I bet this looked better on the Amiga, and you'd be right. It did. What's it all about then? What's it all about? What's he on about? So I found actually some better instructions and description from the Amiga version of this, so I'll go through that. So it says, and I quote, in 2003, when over 1/5 of the world population to narcotics, I'm guessing is addicted to narcotics, the power of drug dealers has grown beyond limit. Because of this, all the nations have handed over their best 2 policemen to form an anti-drug elite corps, the Narco Police. 5 years of training and preparation, so technically we're in 2008 then, and preparation is about to reach its culmination. The target is the neuralgic operations center of the drug dealers, a place where the major part of the world's drug supply is processed. Special agents of the NP have obtained priceless information about this place, known as the Narco Processing Center, the NPC. Located on an island near the coast of Colombia, one last fact, the drug dealers have invested $500 million in their security. Okay. And then you've got missions. And so it says the mission, begin mission. Key name, Ambar. Objective, the Central Processing Laboratory, or the CPI. The island where the laboratory is located has been transformed into a fortress by the organization of the drug dealers. It is made up of an intricate network of tunnels that communicate with the Central Processing Library, the true nucleus of the complex. According to the demolition experts, this is where the explosive charges should be placed in order to destroy such a huge structure. Surveillance rests on numerous and precise security systems with armed patrols and electronic vigilance systems that will obstruct any intervention. Okay. So that's kind of the blurb. And there's a little bit more. It says, I'll come to that because there's terminal systems. There's sort of the PIU, which is the personal intercom unit, which I'll talk about as well. And there's sort of more subtle controls, but it does say in Appendix 1 of the instructions, the network of tunnels consists of 5 independent structures that lead to the central complex, the main objective of the raid. We are informed that there are reinforced doors in the tunnels making up the defensive crusade system. This data should be sufficient to deactivate the doors of the tunnel with terminals on the other side. The map shown with this commentary was stolen from the headquarters of the drug dealers in the Middle East, where they were planning to construct an exact replica of the Anbar base. Unfortunately, the central part of the map was destroyed. The complex is divided into 2 parts with specific features in their construction. To construct the first level, natural tunnels were followed. The second section was built from scratch with huge beams and several types of metallic reinforcements. And then it says, just inexplicably, Annex 2, first phase, the troops in charge of security within the complex follow regular patrol patterns. Study their movements carefully and you will be able to resolve their attacks in the best possible way. At the end of the first phase, you will encounter an armored tank equipped with 2 powerful rocket launchers. It will spill its entire load of rockets. Ugh. So save your weapons and men for that occasion. And then it's the second phase. The enemies you have to face in this phase are the special guards protecting the laboratory, most of whom are ex-soldiers, mercenaries, which are technically ex-soldiers as well, and first-rate bodyguards, probably also ex-soldiers. Armed with automatic weapons of amazing firing potential, which is a weird thing to say, they will be a hard trial for your reflexes. You will also fight against guards with portable rocket launchers and high-caliber sawn-off rifles. I don't think you can have a high-caliber sawn-off anything. After this, you will meet the biggest challenge of the entire mission. Just a load of convoluted guff, isn't it, that? Goodness.
Uh-huh.
Right, okay. Once you pass the 8-bit version of the intro, you'll hit the 8-bit version of the title screen and its bitty realization of one of the Narco Police. Looks rough, because it is. And here you can move the joystick right to see the map of the tunnels, left to see the weapon payload screen, or up to start. I played the Easy Flash version of this, so there was no real load times for me, but the disc version was multi-load. All the while, there's some decent music, I guess, playing from Mr. Deenan. Kind of falls into the forgettable but passable category, which a lot of that music kind of does, doesn't it? So it's good at the time, but you'd soon forget it. The graphics on the 2 selection type screens are colourful for the map, if somewhat confusing, and badly digitized, and just plain ugly and confusing for the weapon selection. Indeed, UI is a weak point throughout this game, I think. Yeah. And so to the game then. The game window is split into 4. At the top is the horrible and bitty status UI, which is nigh and impossible to make sense of. There is an image of your player's face-ish, some kind of radar, what looked like a toolbox, an image of a dildo, then what I think is meant to be body armor, and a further window with other tiny items, which look like some kind of medical pack, I think. Below that, on the left, is your game window, which is a 3D-ish type deal, not unlike the tunnel in Platoon that we played many moons ago. To the right of that is some green text telling you your zone and sector, and below that, if instigated, is the literal UI of gibberish, which is the almost inexplicable weapon selection thing. To move, you push the joystick up, and your narco policeman will slowly trudge forward, while around you a quasi-3D mash of green and brown sticks in a corridor shape, shuffles forwards, moving to the left or right, sees you move over that way, kind of chivying over to the right, while the corridor also moves to give you a kind of walking to the left edge or walking to the right edge kind of effects in the corridors. Fire button shoots, fire and down shows the array of weapon codes at the bottom. You can change weapons presumably. Enemies appear in front of you and you kind of move and aim-ish at them and shoot at them. Now, when I say about the different weapon types, this is where it gets ultra confusing because it appears like a load of code blocks on the bottom of the screen. To give you an example, when I instigated this particular thing, let me just find my notes here. I was presented with cont, K, SC, M1, M2, M3, G1, G2, G3, LIC, go, ABOR, C, activate. Just as words on the bottom of the screen.
What, you mean you didn't understand that?
Now, you actually control 3 groups of narco police in this. It's not immediately obvious that you do that, but you do. And so you can actually flip between the 3 different tactical groups. And that's not a bad idea, is it? That's not bad.
Yeah.
So when you're playing the game, if you press the joystick and down, like I said, down and fire, you enter into the personal intercom unit, the PU, essentially the PU.
Yeah.
That allows you to receive and send messages with the regulatory mini keyboard. So you can send the messages. So you can press, you can send the commands to the group 1, group 2, group 3. M1, M2, M3 is missile 1, 2, 3. C is chopper. You've got abort, continue, use kit. You've got, now this is weird where it said setexplo. I'm guessing it means send a text message or something. Oh no, set explosive, sorry. It's set explo, yeah. Teleport activates the teleports. Login. Is go ahead to proceed on to the second phase. There's a whole bunch of commands, and then you can even log into terminals when you find them. When you log into them, you can deactivate cameras, deactivate guns, open doors, so you can control. Now, all of those ideas in a game like this are good ideas to have. I'll say that. Not bad
just
ideas.
Sort of tactical squad-based stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, and those aren't bad, but that's not the problem with this, is it? So, Like I said, the problem is that the UI and the controls are basically a load of gibberish. And then you've got the sort of ploddy nature. So you'll plod forwards with this, and there's an attempt, like I said, an attempt at that kind of 3D. It kind of shuffles along, but it's slow and ploddy. And this affects the overall pace and energy of the game. It feels leaden. And that's because you're at treacle speed. It also affects the urgency of the game. It's hard to feel like it's this big, important mission when it's like, thud, plod. Yeah, jud, plod, jud. It's just not very nice. To the point where you don't really have any urgency because it's just like heavy going. It also has the effect of making the game extra difficult as well because the enemies shoot at you, but you can't respond to them quick enough to get out of the way all the time. So you're going to get hit a lot, which is really, really annoying. Then there's the routes and the routes you can take. It's dead easy to get lost in this because you can, even though you can sort of get an idea of where you're heading, it all looks exactly the same. It's kind of this endless, boring maze. And there's routes and places where you can make a turn, but ultimately the view is always the same. You're just plodding on and on, trudging through this unwelcoming, slow-moving, brown stick corridor environment. As the UI makes no sense, it's hard to gauge pace and direction. You've got no real idea. You need a map or an indication of where the hell you're going. Proper one, like that. It's not easy to know how far you've got. There's no affordance given to the players, no information given you. You can seek it out if you want to head into the world of the crazy UI, but not a lot is being given away to you here. So principally, this game suffers from fidelity and pace issues. The 8-bit versions of the 16-bit graphics don't really work on this. They're just kind of scaled down to the point where they're just bitty and unpleasant to look at. And the scale and scope of the game also gets lost because what works on the 16-bit, you can go check out the Amiga one. It's still quite slow, actually, but it's graphically more, the graphics have obviously got higher fidelity because it's 16-bit. And so the UI sort of makes sense and the experience of it makes sense. On the C64, though, it's much more challenging to make sense of that experience. And because it's ploddy and boring, there's no suspense and there's no terror. And there's no real excitement. When enemies appear, it's just, you kind of just get killed by the sluggish implementation of the game, not because the game is particularly challenging in any way. And even the idea of controlling the 3 groups and all those other things, they're kind of lost in this because controlling one of them is such a chore. Why do you want to control 3? That's like saying, right, group 2, just head out the corridor and go home. There's no point to this. It's just go, off you go, have a cup of tea. Group 3, Gary's group, complain about the adverts and leave. So I just felt like I didn't enjoy it because it just felt like someone dumped a 16-bit version of a C64 game with very little thought as to A, why it was a bad idea in the first place, and B, who on earth would want it anyway in this format? This was a game that was probably meant for the 16-bits and probably should have stayed there. The 8-bit one is just kind of, it is literally like they've digitized it badly and this is what's kind of left. And when you see the graphics, you'll know exactly what I mean. I don't know, this wasn't Narco Police for me, it's more like Narcolepsy Police.
Very good.
No,
very good.
Not for me there. So I didn't like it even at £4. But 80% get lost. What did you think?
No, I give it this. It's a technically interesting but ultimately dull 3D shooter. It's better than the C64 version of Zybots, which it reminded me of. Yes. But it's not as good as you've said as the 3D section of Platoon, which is the other one. No. Reminded me of. But then again, okay, this 3D, right? I went back and I looked. I know you're not a massive fan of the game, but think of the Eidolon.
I knew you were going to mention the bloody Eidolon. God, what is it with you in that game?
Also think of Scarabaeus.
What is it with you and Scarabaeus?
But because they're 3D games that run at a decent click.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
the machine could do it, just not like this. I don't know.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
The game is an odd squad shooter of some description. There's some good tactical elements to it, as you've rightly said, but it falls down because the C64, it is powerful enough to do this justice. It's just not like this. This is just a bad choice to do it this way. It's not as bad as the MSX version, which I took a look at as well, by the way, which is, I can't imagine, I couldn't believe this came out in the MSX, but it did.
No, could they?
No. The Amstrad version was a bit better than this, though, but they all pale into comparison compared to the 16-bit version, because of course they will. This is not built for 8-bit machines. It's just simply not done for it. So it's not powerful enough. So when enemies appear and dive across the screen at 1 frame per second or so, all sense of interest just wanes. All the tunnels ultimately look the same. It all just looks the same. It's boring because it doesn't move fast enough. The control interface, I guess, is quite well done. I like doing it all by joystick. It's a tech demo, though, that stretches the power of the machine too far to be anything other than a bit of a curio. It's a weird one. Clearly made to run on 16-bit machines. You look at the Amiga version, you clearly see that. The cutbacks here, they're just too deep, and it's just not worth it. All the digitization in the world can't save this. It's just boring, and it just don't work. And just sort of scooching from left to right, that sort of sideways walk, and it's just
weirdly animating the bitmap and doing bitmap trickery, but it doesn't pay off.
No, it doesn't. This is a bad way of doing it. But if you want a 3D game that is either go play Scarabaeus. If you want to run around a maze in 3D at a decent click, just go play that because it's way better. And so is the Eidolon as well. But this is just I don't know. The This is one of those times sort of thing where I wish they'd looked at the 16-bit version and gone, look, we can't do that, but we like the squad-based infiltrating thing. Let's do it something different.
Could have been top-down or something, yeah.
This would have made quite a good top-down into the sort of cave shooter, squad-based thing. You could have done it like that, and you'd have justified it by going, look, the machine can't run it, so we've done this. And I'd have been like, yeah, okay, into the eagle's nest, stuff like that, commando style, but it was sort of scooching around, sort of exploring. They could have done that, but they didn't. They tried to replicate it, much more powerful machines and failed. Well, not failed, but just showed that these machines couldn't do it properly. So, no police.
Yeah, good. I agree. That's it for this week. It started off oh so well, Graham. It started off oh so well with the Cool Croc Twins, and then went rapidly downhill with international international ice hockey, Bionic Ninjas, 1,000 Miglias, and Narco Police, none of which were particularly of any interest. So go play Cool Croc Twins. Do that. There were some budget releases that were reviewed in the magazine this month. There was Total Recall. These are all £4. Total Recall, I don't remember that being that great. Wasn't that the one where sort of you just fell into the water or the spikes and you were instantly dead? Yeah, it was just running around little mazes, wasn't it? It was running around. Yeah.
Creatures for £4.
That's not bad for £4.
Yeah. Flimbo's Quest for £4. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
Narc.
Wasn't great on the 64. It's all right.
Not great, but you could have some fun with that for £4.
For £4, yeah.
Super Monaco GP. Don't remember that being particularly very good.
It wasn't good. No,
that was £4 as well. There you go. But weirdly, and I didn't notice this, last month they started, because normally they just had weird ones, but weirdly Zapped started doing charts.
How strange.
Started doing the charts again. So this was, they didn't last month, I missed them, but I just was looking through and I thought, hang on a minute, there's a proper chart there. They've got a full price chart, top 10, and a budget chart, top 10.
Okay.
So the return of the charts, they're back.
Hey,
So,
yeah, okay.
Countdown 10 to 1 of the full price chart in Zap 64 for September. In at number 10 is Mini Office 2.
Okay, what? Okay, weird.
Things get exciting.
What's going on now? What? Okay, right.
Staying at number 9 is Big Box.
Okay.
By Bo Jolly. Down to number 8 from 6 is the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Down from number 1 to number 7 is WWF WrestleMania.
Okay.
Down from number 2 to number 6 is Dizzy's Excellent Adventures. The Simpsons is down from 3 to 5. Up to 4 from 7 is European Football Champ.
Oh dear.
Up to 3 from 4 is Space Crusade. That's all right. That was pretty good. Creatures 2 is up from 10 to number 2. And straight in at number 1 is James Pond 2, codename Robocod. Set your eyes to stunned. In the budget chart, straight in at number 10 is Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge.
Okay.
That's pretty good for budget. The budget one is going to be way better. Down to number 9 from 4 is Ivan Iron Man Stewart Super Off-Road Racer. That was okay. Manchester United in at number 8. Don't remember which of that. Pro Tennis Tour was in at number 7.
That one. All right, maybe.
F-16 Combat Pilot. Don't know. Okay. Is up from 8 to 6. Up to 5 is Graham Souness' Soccer Manager.
Have you even seen that
looked at that? I don't even think so, no. Italian 90 is down to number 4 from 3. Up to number 3 from number 10 is Golden Axe.
Okay.
Arnie, down from number 1 to 2. And nipping in from number 2 to number 1 is Rainbow Islands.
Makes sense.
Yeah, there you go. There's the charts. They're back. And I think next month they do a top 20 in both of them.
Goodness me. They've got to take up the column inches now.
Absolutely. Got to fill it. Fill those pages. Fill it, because next month the games in score order that we will be covering for October 1992 are Nobby the Aardvark, Slicks, Count Duckula 2, and Bangers and Mash.
That's it.
There's only 4 games. There are 4 new games in October 1992. I scoured that magazine looking for compilation, looking for anything. No, it's just 4 games, I'm afraid. It is what it is. So there'll only be like two next week, 2 the week after. It's the way the cookie crumbles. It is the way it falls. But like you said, it balances out. Months we had 14 games. Now we've got 2. So sign
of the times.
Yeah, that's it. And that's October 1992. Only 4 episodes left, Graham, of the coverage of the magazine.
Wow, crazy. Nearly there.
We're nearly there. We are nearly there. Then just the bread bins and the bread bin of bread bins. That's it. 6 more episodes left. 6. It's crazy. I can't. Every time I sort of think about it, I'm like, I'm always a bit staggered that we got here. Oh no. Here we go. Anyway, there we go. That's coming up next month. That's September done. You got anything you want to say, Graham, about that lot?
I had none of the adverts quite good, so at least we know that there's probably one quite good one in there. A lot of people seem to be saying that's good.
That's Thalamus's last one, isn't it? Is it the last one?
I think so, something like that. But let's just see. 4 games, goodness. I mean, what's left in the last issue? I mean, we'll see. We'll have to find out. But we play them. We said we'd do this, when we started out this journey, 5+ years ago. And so, it's not the end. Remember, we keep this, just to make sure that people realise, just because we come to the end of the magazine, the podcast is not coming to the end. It's just coming to the end of Zap. We are continuing, but not necessarily in the same way. We're not looking necessarily at Zaps, and we've got some other plans. Commodore format, is it, or whatever it was? Commodore Zone,
Commodore Force,
Commodore Force, which is what Zap became, I think. So we've got some pick and choose out of that. We've got some plans to discuss other stuff. We've mentioned what we're doing. Plus, we've got other exciting announcements to come, which we won't go into now. But other exciting things are afoot. They really are. So
they really, really are. Yeah. Hopefully. So. Watch this space, listen to this space. We'll be announcing things in the next few weeks.
We will. Plus, you'll see us. You can come and meet us. We are at the Zap Live this year.
Oh, yeah, May 16th. We'll be there on the
it's
Saturday.
A bit of a stretch for those flying over from Australia, but you know what? You could come if you want. Don't hold back. If you want to come all that way, it's fine by me. I mean, you'd be crazy, but why wouldn't you want to do that?
So, why wouldn't you want to come to Coventry?
Exactly.
I love Coventry. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Some good stuff. I've always thought it's a nice place, and so let's go and find out.
I've been there. I've had fun times. I've been before.
Yeah,
it's all right.
I think I've been there once. Maybe once, twice. Anyway, but by the by, but you will be there on the May the 16th. Is it something like that?
May 16th. Yeah. Yep. And it's going to be a good fun day. And we'll be there all day in the bar, propping up the bar by the end of the day, probably.
That's exactly what's going to happen. So, and I will be taking my portable tape recorder with me this time again for all the fun and giggles that we had last time with it.
Absolutely. So if you want the real fun and the real sort of stories behind Zap to the Past, then you need to get us at about 10 o'clock in the evening. And then all the hidden details will come out about Gary and his storming out of places.
Well, he could, you never know, he might even show up. He does do that, but he can guarantee he'll storm out at some point and complain about the adverts.
Exactly what he'll do. Oh dear. But yeah, come join us, and that'll be fun. But that's it's good 2 months away, isn't it? 2 months.
It is. We've still got stuff to do.
Other stuff. I think we should call that quits on that one. I think it's been that kind of episode. Go play Cool Croc Twins because it is very good.
Do that
enough. And as ever, I have been Adrian Mills,
and I have been Graham Raddings.
And you've been listening to Zap to the Past, and we don't endorse Bionic Ninjas, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Zap to the Past podcast. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of Commodore 64 games, as well as the music, films and TV from around the 1980s, driven, of course, by the issue of Zap 64 magazine published at that time. We will return with a whole new batch of games and stuff to talk about next week. Until then, if you want to listen to or download previous episodes of Zap to the Past, and why wouldn't you, they can all be found on our website at zaptothepast.com, as well as being available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Audible, Player FM, and well, pretty much anywhere where we can upload them. By the way, we do always love to hear from our amazing listeners, so if you'd like to contact us about anything in the podcast or beyond, you can do so by emailing us at zaptothepast@gmail.com. We're also active on Twitter under @ZapToThe, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and most social media platforms. Just search for Zap to the Past and you'll find us. Oh, and if you like the podcast and what we're doing, please do like, share, review, rate us. It really helps. Something, apparently. The Zap to the Past podcast is written and produced by Adrian Mills and Graham Raddings and recorded at Flaky Bits 2.0 Studio. All opinions expressed are those of the writers, and while we indeed love Zap 64 magazine, the Zap to the Past podcast is not affiliated with it in any way. Stay safe, see you next time, and remember, we play these games so you don't have to.